Mortgage One Studios, Russ Clark with you on a Friday morning. Greg Wilkinson got up early.
Yeah, I did.
Nice you to rouse yourself. Get out of bed. You got to have a reason to get up when you're retired.
That's right. That's right.
Doing nothing but straightening out the house and
Yeah,
raking the yard. I don't know. What do you do in retirement, Greg? What is that?
I play golf a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
There's always something to do around the house.
You haven't. I mean, you kept working until very recently, even.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know, maybe I just turned in my last invoice to a company that I work for.
Okay.
Working for the state of Minnesota on a 5-year public safety plan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is it safer now in Minnesota?
I don't know where to go on that one. Actually, yes, it is.
Okay.
But Minneapolis is a freaking disaster area. I don't know. It's going to be many years before that place can come back. But people just don't go there anymore. It's in really bad shape.
It used to be a nice place.
Yeah. It was. I remember. It was one of the better places, and of course, the George Floyd thing drove that city into the dirt. And then we got Mayor Jacob Fry, who's I don't know, he's a pro-Palestinian Jew hater, and he's driven that place into the dirt. And until they can get rid of all the illegals and all these things that the Somalis are stealing. Taxpayer money, and it's state taxpayer money, federal taxpayer money, and city taxpayer money, and until they can get rid of them, and then they are. I mean, the federal government is the state's not doing squat, and the voters, the people in Minnesota, are very upset, except for the Somalis, of course, who have gotten rich, and they're not stopping.
They've got to be somewhat upset, because the heat's coming.
Yeah.
And they got to know it. I'd be curious to know, and I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, how many have left, said, look, Somali's more safer for me right now than here getting caught.
Well, but if you've never been to Somalia,
never been,
there's nothing there. I mean, literally there is nothing there.
Right.
Yeah.
But it may be better than handcuffs. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, if you get out with cash, you take a few suitcases of cash. Somalia, you could hire a lot of people to work for you.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of what's been going on. So the airport, pretty much, I'm not going to say it's run by Somalis, but the employees at the airport in a lot of the places are Somalis, and they have, if you've paid any attention at all to the news, they've been flying out suitcases of cash, and under Biden administration, of course, they just let them do it. And I mean, literally, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars, in cash.
And amazingly, the airport registers it; they write it down, and then just let it go. But it was the airport with the most cash going through the airport of any place in the United States or anywhere, and it was ridiculous amounts. I can't remember what it was now, but it was millions of dollars.
Yeah, overall. I think one load had like $800,000 or something.
Yeah, and they call people over. They say, no, we got to hold on to you, and they say, no, you got to let them go. There's nothing illegal about transporting it. So that cash is gone. I don't think they're going to tax it.
Yeah, so I don't know, and they are trying to get the cars back. They're trying to get the
obvious stuff, that
the mansions and stuff that they bought, but it has not stopped, and it was reported within the state of Minnesota. They had their own fraud. I don't know if I say committee or whatever, and they reported it several years ago to Tim Walz, and who is the governor, and Ellison, who's the attorney general.
Yeah. It's kind
and they didn't want to do anything because it was going to their constituents. And of course, their constituents donate money back to them. So it was being used, and basically that was happening. I mean, there's no question it was happening. The only thing is, can they prosecute the governor and the attorney general?
Probably
for
not.
looking the other way.
I don't know. I mean, I would doubt it somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow other politicians will keep them immune from that kind of things.
Yeah. Well, and on Omar's on it too.
Well, Omar's been doing more than that.
Yeah.
Like hiding money and claiming she's worth 30 million and say, "Oh, I was only worth $300. I'm sorry, wrong zero."
Yeah.
You know, and that wine company that was making all that money, they found out never produced any wine.
Yes. And then now Amy Klobuchar is trying to run for governor. Of course, she's in Congress right now, and I don't know if they're going to be able to beat her or not, because I mean she is in on the periphery of it, if not more. So but that whole state, I mean, California is kind of the same way.
Well, since you mentioned that, I was reading an article this morning on some of those politics going on right now, and on particularly the socialists, because they feel they're on top of it. They're watching, the highest profile is now Zoran Mondani as being the highest profile and the one that's leading the Democrat Party, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least the Democrat Socialists of America, the DSA. And they have their own platform, which I didn't know, but they're putting out their own platform. They're not following the Democrat platform.
No.
They're using the Democrat platform, I guess, as a catalyst to get elected. And
using Democrat money.
And use Democrat money.
Yep.
And then they come out with their own platform. Do you know what that platform includes?
I think I know a few things. But I'll let you read it. I don't want to.
I was kind of shocked. I wouldn't care if you knew, but eliminate the U.S. Senate.
Yes.
And replacing the president and the Supreme Court with an executive branch and judiciary that's chosen and subordinate just to Congress. So there would be one single power, Congress only.
Yeah.
Congress would decide who the president, prime minister, whatever you want to call him at that point is, and who the Supreme Court is, or on the Supreme Court, but then they completely control it.
Mm-hmm.
That's communism, or what is that? Authoritarianism,
Well, let's face it. The difference between communism and what they're preaching is socialism is really nothing. They're one and the same.
I think so.
Yeah, they are.
But if you had, and the founding fathers were brilliant enough to give us three branches to keep each other in check. Now it's bloody, it's messy, it's ugly. There's no question.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if we went to like these other countries like Venezuela, Russia, and other, that basically, one body runs everything? It's going to be, the founding fathers knew that was going to be prone to corruption.
Yeah. Well, and it's survived 250 years, and the saying, a republic if you can keep it.
Yeah.
And that's probably, that statement, a republic if you can keep it, is probably more true now than ever.
Yeah. And it's worth standing up for, because this can be beaten back, but we got to know what brought us here. How do we get to the point where particularly the younger people feel like they don't have a chance in capitalism? They've been told that or whatever, you don't have a chance. Inflation, everything has destroyed us. It's all capitalism's fault. It's no different than we were in the 70s. Oh, Greg, remember, we're old enough to go through the 70s.
Right.
The 70s, we had stagflation. I saw housing prices where I lived, where my parents bought a house in 1972 for $19,900, 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, full basement.
Yep.
Pretty good deal. Today, I'd buy that right now. I'd buy a whole street of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember when I graduated high school in 75, let me see, my friend bought his parents' house 2 years after we graduated. So in 1977, he bought that house. It was bought in 1972 for like $78,000. And that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Everything was going crazy. The inflation was high. The everything was outside. And I remember, as someone just now then going through college and all, like, what? I'll never be able to buy a house. Now, at no time did I look at that and say, I guess it's time to go socialism. I never did. Right. I mean, I voted for Carter. That's close, but
oh, really?
Well, My whole family was Democrats. I wasn't.
That's what's wrong with you. I've been wondering.
And I'm sorry I outed myself now, you know. But well, I didn't know anybody that was really political. We didn't talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they told me you should be Democrat, and I said, okay, whatever. And that's when Reagan, I was afraid of him because the press had lied about him. He was going to get us into a big war. He's shooting from the hip. He's a cowboy. He's just an actor. He doesn't know what he's doing. He got elected. I thought, oh no, I'm going to probably end up in a war somewhere or something because of Reagan. And after about a year of Reagan or so, I said, they lied to me. I didn't know, man. I was young, and it didn't take me long to figure it all out. But nothing like communism ever came up in my head. I didn't think I need to be a socialist or something, like that. Let's take a phone call. Good morning, Ted. Ted. Greg, what have I done wrong here?
I don't know. I don't
morning.
see it.
Oh, what I did wrong was answer the phone, and it was Ted. Good morning, Ted.
Oh, no. Good morning. Love you all. This is Francis Gambino LeVay from Jersey.
All right,
And
Mr.
I'm going to tell you,
DeVay.
this little freak in New York for leaving the Italians off the map.
Yeah.
His little Middle East map, his India map. There'd have been a day, Russ, he'd be in the Hudson with a mackerel in his mouth and 2 cinder blocks into his leg diving for fish.
Yeah, but you Italians aren't mobsters anymore, man.
I know. It's because of that thing that Giuliani dude, traitor.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows what he's talking about, I guess Mandani took Italian Americans off the list of minority status or something.
Immigrant
status.
They're not immigrants. They're aliens, illegal aliens, just like him and his family.
No, they're not.
I'm going to tell you, 2 cinder blocks.
Well, they already took off the Asians. Yeah, because Asians are now white
because they're successful in school.
Yeah, too successful. Yeah. They took off the Asians. Now they took off the Italians.
Didn't they make a railroad get all the way to the West Coast?
That was Chinese.
Same difference.
No. Man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he looked pretty with that cannoli and 2 cinder blocks on his legs swimming in the Hudson.
Well, and Ted called me yesterday and told me about this, but apparently there's a ongoing celebration for Italian Americans in New York, and they have a little parade, their own deal. He wouldn't permit it.
Yeah, well, he did the same thing for the 4th of July celebration too. That's why there are only a few hundred people there.
Yeah. Man, Donnie sucks, Ted.
Imagine all the people. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now.
What? Tell me.
If it wasn't for Giuliani, he'd be floating in the Hudson.
I'm glad he's not. I don't agree with violence at all. We're not going to do that.
That's not violence. That's swimming lessons.
That's not swimming lessons.
What are you talking about?
Not going to do it, man.
You dealt with the mob. Didn't you work on the East Coast with me in the trucking industry? The trucking industry.
I was a teamster for a while, but I don't know anything about. I did not reach that kind of level.
Come on.
I didn't do that.
You know the Giovanni's and the
no.
Come on, Russ.
The union.
We were moving freight for all of them.
The union kicked me out because I was running for shop steward, and I told people in the shop that they've all lied to us, that this contract was worthless. We could do better. And the union went to the management and said, we need to get rid of him. So they made me a manager, and then they were going to fire me in 2 months. But when they made me manager, I doubled the work output on the dock. So they kept me.
Didn't they give you diving lessons?
No, but nobody talked to me. It was really weird. You're in a union shop and you get promoted, then you go to the bar after hours to say hello, and you get shunned.
Remember, I told you about one of our tractors being shot up by the Quislings up there.
Well, we were going to have
it came back with the whole side of the truck looked like a freaking that thing you wear when you're doing sewing. What do you call it? Thimble?
Yeah.
They peppered the whole side of that truck on the driver's side, Russ.
Well, back in the East Coast, when they were talking about doing a strike at the place I worked, Burst Foods out of Harrington, Delaware, and the guys were sitting around saying, "Well, if we go on strike, I'm going to do this to the engines, disable the and put they were going to put eggs or something in the engine blocks,
Right.
and then they set on overpasses and drop cinder blocks so they go through the windshields."
That's right.
Nice people.
Well,
nice.
They shot our truck with a sawed-off shotgun.
I'm not thinking Mandonis did a bad thing not let them have a parade now.
A parade of goats? The goat parade.
Those guys weren't even Italian, man. They were just Teamsters. they were not Italian. All right, man.
Like I say, if it wasn't for Giuliani, man, he'd have a problem right now.
All right. Be good, buddy.
You two guys have a good day.
All right, man. Bye-bye. Mr. Ted. Yeah. He's going to get me in trouble somehow. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying completely, but I'm not responsible for it. In fact, let me
read your
let me read this disclaimer all of a sudden. Ted reminding me, all content presented in the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guest commentators and callers, reflect the personal opinions of those individuals and is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. These views do not represent the official positions of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. Yeah, we got that done. Yeah, one day we'll do it. Democrat socialists, what we were talking about before, we were rudely interrupted by the anti-immigrant guy. They want to eliminate the Senate, just eliminate it. Now, in order to do that, and these are not, they're misguided people. They don't understand history. They don't want to look at it.
Right.
But they're not stupid.
No, they're not. They're really working hard to take down our country.
That's exactly right. They realized in order to get this done, and some other things I want to mention too, but to get this done, that they'll have to have a new democratic constitution. They call for that. The DSA, the Democrat Socialists, call for a new democratic constitution that would establish civil, political, and democratic rights for all based on proportional representation, like DEI.
Wow.
And it would be in a single federal legislature. One legislature controls 100% of everything. That places the president, places all the Supreme Court, and they can control it. On top of that, they're talking about amnesty for all immigrants, defunding the Department of War. Yes. That sounds safe.
Yes.
And what else? Immediate end to all deportations, free migration between countries without restrictive immigration controls, full voting rights to people with criminal convictions and non-citizens. They put all this in writing.
Right.
Why do not I don't hear this on the news when someone says, "I'm a proud member of the Democrat Socialists," and the interviewer says, "Then you agree with the entire platform, including redoing the Constitution, firing the Senate."
Yeah. Wow. It basically outlines total destruction of our country and government and everything about it. Yes.
They also want to establish a 32-hour work week with no reduction in pay or benefits.
Right.
They want a passage for Medicare for all, cancel all student loan debt, elimination of cash bail, and universal rent control. Mm-hmm. I don't see anything wrong with any of this. It ought to work for at least like a week.
Yeah, a few days.
Yeah, and then there's no food, there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
Who pays for this?
Well, that's the other thing. The other guy pays for it.
They'll make the mistake of a lot of other dictators, and they'll kill all the billionaires. Mm-hmm. And take all their assets, and everything looks good. Like Venezuela, I don't know if they killed anybody. I don't know if Venezuela's noted for that.
Well, yes, Venezuela, yeah, with all the crap that went on there.
Oh, well, I know they took everything, they nationalized everything, they took it, and it's a heyday for a little while. Man, look, I got all this stuff, and then in a few years, there's no one to take anything from. You can't exist. You're not producing, and people are starving.
Yeah.
And you start blaming America.
Yeah, exactly. And Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world, and things were great. And then the dictators took over and
they have
socialism and yeah.
they have huge natural resources.
Yeah, they do.
Some of their oil stuff is going to be one of the biggest deposits around,
right,
of anywhere. And right now they're back up to getting about 1.2 million barrels a day.
Yeah, and
which is a shame because they used to do 4 or 5 a day,
right.
4 or 5 million of barrels a day.
Yeah, and I think by the end of the year, I think they said that's almost going to double again.
Because we get over
yeah.
2 million barrels a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a while to grind it down. To rebuild that takes time.
Yeah.
They have to reset oil wells, do all kinds of stuff.
They have to replace all the equipment and stuff because it wasn't maintaining. It's like, why should I work to maintain that equipment when everybody else is just given it? So I'm not doing that anymore.
They didn't make the investment. They didn't have the technology. They had enough to keep flipping the switch on, and it went from 4 or 5 million a day down to 800,000 barrels. And they said, well, I'm still rich. I don't care.
Yeah. And to me, we've talked a little bit about this before, but it's the education system. Our education system is not teaching students what they need to know about different government forms. They're not teaching the history of our country.
Civics and history.
Yeah. They're not doing it.
And they tear down our heroes instead of building them up.
Right.
They rip down the statues of George Washington.
Yeah. And there is supposed to be civics in the schools, but the problem is what they're teaching.
Yeah. What do you label as civics?
Yeah. It's like, what they just said is going on in the Smithsonian. It had Benjamin Franklin, who did so much for our country. And in the Smithsonian, they basically say, yeah, he's a man from Pennsylvania. And that's about it. And so that's the problem that I see. We're probably going to need to have we need to get rid of the federal education system, but the state education systems need to come up with some curriculum for civics because the schools aren't going to do it on their own. No. And I had hoped that the school boards would start getting these experienced teachers back in the classroom instead of administrators, but it doesn't look like that's happening on our school boards either. So we're going to need somebody else to step in.
Well, I think the school board on the grade schools here is doing fine. Yuma Elementary.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Is there a new that might change?
Well, the issue in the elementary schools, they got to get these teachers back in the classroom.
I'll get the teachers back. But I mean, Stoner and all got in there, and Veteran Dave, and they changed things, and got PTA more involved. And I think they've gotten some accolades for some of that stuff, but I think they're going in the right direction. We'll see if they got teachers. I don't know. I haven't talked to them about that.
Yeah.
Before I leave with the DSA, and I the more I find out about the Democratic Socialists of America, what they really stand for, what they say they stand for, this is their own wording. It's, it's not us making an observation. It's their wording. They have a proclamation that only socialism can solve decades of capitalistic mismanagement in the United States. That's their belief.
Yeah.
That's their proclamation.
But, really the opposite's true.
Yes.
I mean, look what happened with the World Cup when we had millions of visitors from other countries came over here. And it's like, oh man, this is like the greatest thing ever. Free refills, Costco, Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. They have air conditioning everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I want to keep these guys here,
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of fun.
Well, and that's, and the mainstream media hasn't had those people, I don't think, on the air talking about all this stuff, but they've been all over Fox and Newsmax and some of those things, and
all over social media. They've gone viral, a lot of them, because they're hilarious.
Yeah,
that these guys are just like, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home to France because we don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, or deodorant. Okay, don't send me hate mail.
Yeah,
don't do
and
that.
Then they're going to go to restaurants in Paris. Like, what do you mean you're not going to refill my soda
for free
or coffee?
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, the rationale behind their amazement and what made it so funny, because they were so shocked, was because they've been watching our press for years,
Our mainstream news. Yeah.
bringing down America, how terrible it is.
Yeah.
And they were wondering about, well, should I get a bulletproof vest? Should I?
Yeah. Well, and you heard a number of them said that, we thought we were going to come over here and we're going to see fights all the time and all this stuff. And then they say, well, these people over here are nice and they're friendly.
Particularly the ones that went out into the Midwest and stuff out in the country.
Right.
They were shocked. They thought it was going to be like Deliverance or something.
Mm-hmm.
Squeal like a pig, Bucky.
Yeah, there we go.
No, but they were into great people and hospitable and friendly. Yeah, well, good. And it opened my eyes too. We have a lot to be thankful for. Yeah. We do, and we have a lot to fight for.
Yeah,
to make sure that the DSA doesn't take this and just turn it into Cuba or Venezuela or Russia.
Yeah, well, we need to fight for it.
Yeah,
it starts in our education system. We need a new curriculum for civics and about our country, and that's got to come. Like I said, the school boards aren't doing it, so it's got to come from I guess the state. The feds. I
don't like federal mandates. I don't like it. But somebody's got to start teaching this stuff, or we're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, we already are in trouble. That's the issue.
And it's the unions. The unions are not pushing that. They want to push more socialism in unions. That's how they exist. They make money on it. Yeah. All right. I got a criminal here story. A Florida man called the police and said, "Look, I've got some information about a 1987 killing." So they went out to talk to him, I guess, and they put the handcuffs on him. I guess they figured, well, you must have done it. It doesn't say he confessed.
Yeah,
he just said he had some information. I don't know what happened. He woke up one day feeling guilty or something. But Gary Edward Glauis, 70 years old, is now arrested for the killing of a 20-year-old Melissa Ellison in 1987. Just called him up. You just never know who's going to call.
Yeah, it's like 40 years ago. So
yeah. And so he said, "You have some information." So maybe his memory was bad, and he wanted to be, he wanted some more information. Like he can't remember it exactly. Could you tell me about it? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with this guy. I saw a picture of him. He looked a lot older than 70.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So maybe he was having some mental breakdowns, something going on, and he called them. Maybe he's better off in jail. I don't know.
Might be.
I don't know. So the Sheriff Waters talked a little bit about it. They said television shows condition us to believe that homicide cases that are not solved within the first 48 hours will not be solved. Well, yeah, if a guy could call up and confess, you never know.
Yeah,
45 years later.
Yeah.
He says, while this arrest cannot fill the enormous void left in the hearts of Melissa Ellison's loved ones, I hope this arrest is another step in the healing process. Man, I don't know if that's a long time.
Yeah.
1987. A guy just calls up, and they found her in bed with injuries consistent with blunt force trauma, and I guess they never solved it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gary Edward, for making that phone call. Oh, I don't know what I don't know if it's more pain than is it make people feel better that 47 years later they come out there, or 47?
I don't know. Maybe he had guilt feelings and remorse.
No, I mean, like the community. Was it better for the community now at this point? I don't know. Does it bring up old wounds or does it heal them?
I don't know. 40 years is almost.
Yeah.
Probably most of the people have no idea who it was.
No. Yeah.
You'd have to be like in your 60s at least.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or not, but it happened.
Yeah. At least justice was served.
Yes. And I don't have a problem with that. And this guy, he may have improved his life though, from the looks of where he lived and what he looked like. It may be, this was a step up.
Well, that's so, yeah. So the big thing is, so prison is the perfect place for liberals. Everyone is equal.
Yeah.
free food and housing,
Yeah.
no guns, universal health care,
Wow.
and same-sex relationship.
Yes, there you go. Liberals will love it.
Yes.
Maybe this guy's a liberal. He said, I need some of that. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll get some of that. I want to talk about GLAAD. That's Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation.
Okay, that's a new one on me.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
The GLAAD has. They haven't been as visible as some of the more aggressive LGBTQ groups that have been screaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they're trying to get some recognition. They're upset right now. Which why would they? I mean, it's like the whole country is turned LGBTQ plus, and they're upset. Not about it turning. It's not enough yet. Here's their gripe. In 2023, GLAAD, who's been keeping tracks of the Hollywood industry, said there was a record 28.5%, or 100 out of 350 films released in 2022 featuring LGBTQ characters. See, that's why I stopped going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people stopped going to the movies. It's just like, come on, what's the plot of this again? Oh, it's about gay sex.
Yeah. And, I think that the biggest thing for me is I have a number of friends that are gay, and I'm
So what?
fine with that.
Yeah, it doesn't
that's
matter.
good. But the one thing that I do object to is you'll be watching a movie and they'll throw in a token gay sex scene, which has nothing to do with the movie, just because
of an organization like this is going to put a check on it, say, okay, you're acceptable.
Yeah.
We don't need to cater to these people. And what they said is that in 23, then it dropped all the way down to 27.3% only. And in 23 it dropped to 23.6 in 24 actually. So they're going the wrong way. Like well, it was more than 25%. Now it's less than 25%. And that's atrocious. In 25, it dropped all the way to 20%, only 1 in 5. And it had a total of 0 transgender characters. What are you doing across theater? I mean, they're kind of like demanding that you represent. So, well, they went on about animated films too. And there's been some destruction of animated films,
right? Where
Buzz Lightyear, they had to put the gay Buzz Lightyear in and all that, and it failed.
Oh yeah, well, and that's what you're seeing.
Nobody would go.
These movies.
I say nobody. What didn't go out enough to make money. But.
Yeah, these movies are failing. The woke ones, and you see movies like Top Gun. Oh, and another one. Nicole and I went to see Young Washington.
Oh my God, it was good.
It was great.
I'm going to see it again.
Movie. Yeah, everybody, you need to go see Young Washington. It's really, really a good movie. I recommend it for your kids and everybody.
And if you're gay, you can go see Supergirl.
That's right.
I don't think it's a gay film, but no, I'm just saying it's not successful.
Yeah, Supergirl's a flop because of apparently some of the woke stuff, I'm sure. But no, Young Washington, great movie, recommend it for everybody. Bring your whole family. It's it's really a good understanding of Washington growing up, why he was so great and why he was appointed as general of our armies, and he went on to become our first president. And I mean I learned some things that I didn't know.
I did too. They're doing a sequel now. They're writing it now, called 1776. What goes afterwards?
Yeah.
Some things I didn't know. I did not really understand the dynamics of being a major or a colonel in the militia. It wasn't equal with British. I didn't realize how much it wasn't equal enough to where it was a bone of contention with Washington, that he refused pay unless they gave him equal
pay. Yep.
Yeah. So he said, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
He was a principled guy.
Yeah.
He was, when he was trying to make his own conditions, and the British wouldn't hear of it. Like, you're not like a regular person. You're a pagan colonist. That's not what they said. That's the way I felt when I watched it.
Right.
It's kind of terrible.
Yeah. But again, I can't say enough. It was a great movie. It was very interesting.
They spent $20 million in production cost.
Right.
The Supergirl was $170 million.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they spent like $100 million in advertising, and I think it was $10 million for Washington.
Yeah,
but it hasn't beat Supergirl yet.
No, but it made
It probably
money.
will this week.
Yeah, but Supergirl's losing money.
It
and
dropped.
Washington is making money.
It's one of those blockbusters that usually starts off really good. You know, when the superhero blockbusters, they put a lot of money and a lot of stuff into it.
Yeah.
It dropped 73%, I think, in the first week of attendance. Like the first weekend was the kickoff. The second weekend was down 72%. Like word of mouth got out there and said, "Don't bother.
Yeah, don't go.
Don't go."
Yeah,
it's terrible, and that's what happened. Where Washington's going to be, it's getting better. I mean, Washington should be getting better. I hope.
Yeah,
because we're recommending.
Yes,
let's talk
exactly.
Let's talk to Sandy. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. Just a couple of things. I want to go back to the visitors. I would really like for maybe even Chamber of Commerce, other organizations and Republicans to step up and put out ads or infomercials. I don't know, not an infomercial, those are too long, but showing these people talking about how wonderful capitalism is, because that's what they're experiencing, and explain, hey, this is the way the country is now. This is what the Democrats want to do to you. They want to take your air conditioning away. These people, they're telling you that. And I just think it would be wonderful if they would do that.
Yeah.
And show maybe some of the socialist countries and what it's really like, and put out, maybe they can't list that full long, I don't know, it seems like there's 10 or 11 points the socialist communists want. I would just love to help, especially young people, understand how good they've got it, and it's all due to capitalism.
Yeah, well, one of the things
that was my first deal.
Yeah.
And then my second is I watched a few, not a lot, of the YouTube videos where they're talking about Tyler Robinson and the evidence against him. And I'll put, he's an alleged killer, so I can protect your show. But basically, what disturbed me the most was in the last one I looked at, I think I shared it with you, I'm not sure, with Charlie Hurt and Don Jr., is the comments I saw. Even with that clear-cut evidence, there's so many people, oh, it's a cover-up, he didn't do it. And I remember back to when Charlie was first assassinated.
Right.
And there were so many videos out there like, I'm a arms expert and blah, 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 which, like when I'd show to my husband, he'd tell me, that's, he uses better words. I'll just say pure crap.
Oh.
I know he didn't say that. But, and then, they put out other stuff. And a lot of these people, I think, anymore want to believe conspiracies.
Yes.
And everything about them is to believe a conspiracy, when the evidence, if you look at it as evidence, just makes it clear what happened. And I did get to see that. Luckily, some podcasters, I'm older, I have some discernment. I could tell when Trump was actually, that was just a made-up hoax against him. I could tell that. And I could tell watching these different podcasts. In some cases, I'd have to ask my husband, what do you think about this? But I could tell when somebody was presenting information versus somebody just putting out, I guess you'd call it propaganda. And it's kind of disturbing to me because it's people watching, maybe they don't even watch the video. Maybe they just put a comment out there. This is a cover-up. You don't know what you're talking about, and on and on and on. And I couldn't find any where they were saying, hey, this is evidence. We're getting to see evidence.
Oh, so, and they're putting it out. The judges having it put out because there's been so much misinformation, like, well, they can't even identify the bullet. It probably wasn't him. Well, they couldn't identify the bullet because it hit something and it disfigured the bullet to where they could, smashed it up. It doesn't mean it's not the bullet. It just means it's too smashed for positive identification.
Oh, and our labs can take care of that easily. It also means they don't watch some of the shows I watch on TV where they'd see these guys can tell whether the bullet's deformed or not. They can still tell.
Sometimes.
And then the guy took a Dremel tool and wrote on some of these bullets. So,
well, he's basically got confessions with his emails to his lover boyfriend, and that just sunk him, and it upset all the left for some reason. They get all upset about it. It wins out of their sails because I think they want to get the guy off.
Yes, they do, and it's crazy. And what's weird about it is some of those emails and stuff. Somehow I knew about it.
I did too.
Back after, probably was a week or two after. That information was presented by some people that had access to it.
We saw that
and
immediately.
I listened to that.
Yeah. How was that a surprise? We already knew it. Yeah.
It's not a surprise, but the left is ill.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to fight them. They're ill, they're evil. They wanted Charlie Kirk dead, just like they'd like to see President Trump dead, just like they'd like to see a bunch of MAGA people dead. And if they take power, that's what they want to do. It's so reminiscent of communism. How the Russians acted with their KGBs. It's scary that we have people like that in this country.
Completely.
And they're not all, from foreign countries that came to our country, like Ilhan Omar. Some of them are white, older people that are probably around my age or older, your age, have been in the country forever, and there's just something wrong with them.
Yeah.
And anyway, I hope the ads, like the foreigners, they're just so lovely to listen to. They're so appreciative of what we take for granted that it needs to be put out there. Hey, we have this. They want to take it away from us so we can be like them.
Yeah.
They don't even have air conditioning. Can you imagine what it would be like in Yuma without air conditioning?
Well, if you listen to the French, particularly the mayor of Paris, they're proud they don't have air conditioning because they care about the environment, unlike the nasty Americans who are responsible for their heat wave in France right now.
Well, what I would do in that case?
Wow.
I'd be an investigative reporter, and I would check on his house, and I'd find that he has splendid air conditioning.
Well, so does Mandani, please. Of course so.
Correct.
Of course.
That's another thing ads need to put out is these people that want to be in charge, they're going to make sure, just like in all socialist countries, that they have everything they want, food, air conditioning, water, but you're not going to. They're going to make your life miserable and try to take away as much as they can from you.
Sandy,
so many of these young people just don't get that.
They don't believe
They don't understand that.
They're buying into the lies. When we were young ones too, if you remember back, Sandy, it's a stretch for me.
Yeah, but I was lucky at the time I was going to school, and my husband's older than me, and I checked with him too. And plus we had experienced Vietnam was going on. We had Korea before that. We had World War II, World War I, all these different, when you think about it, World War I against Germany, World War II, Germany, Japan, and Italy trying to take over the world. Vietnam, it was the communists, in Vietnam we were fighting.
Right.
So the teachers I had in school were, and even our textbooks were anti-communism.
Yep.
I don't even remember the word socialism, but it was probably there. Anti-communism, anti-socialism. And they were explaining it all to us.
Exactly.
Now we have a bunch of teachers that are sick. They're not telling the truth, and they're not all that way.
But they're ignorant themselves. A lot of them don't know. And they don't realize if you go to Iran and say, go LGBTQ, that you're going to get thrown off a building. They don't understand.
Is it just a total lack of discernment or wanting to believe? What in the world is wrong with them?
I don't know. They just hate us. I don't know. They're full of it. And if you read any polls on mental instability and stuff, by party, the Democrats are the one that are the psychologists who are getting depressed, not the conservatives. It's the Democrats.
Right. The conservatives are very happy.
So I think Democrats
are happy people.
It's a mental illness to be a Democrat. unfortunately.
Yeah, and we shut down the mental institutions.
There you go. We need to open them
anyway.
up. I appreciate the call.
Okay, no problem. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Andy.
I got to finish up with the LGBTQ here. Of course, GLAAD is complaining because it used to be 28% of the films represented gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or other.
Right.
And now it's down to 20. And they think something needs to be done. And we need it more in the cartoons because the cartoons just aren't doing well enough.
And it probably will go lower because I think everybody,
they don't make money.
Well, yeah, they're not in Hollywood anymore. And now they realize that if they put that stuff in there, it's going to hurt them at the box office.
So all this complaints about only 20% of the film. So I did some research. I asked my artificial intelligence. That's how much research I did.
Okay.
What's the percentage of LGBTQ and everything in the country? Came back with a number of 9.3%, which I said, oh, hell, no, that's not that high. Well, here's a breakdown. Lesbian, 1.4, maybe.
Okay.
Gay, 2.0. Bisexual, 5.2. Now I was thinking, well, that's like Katy Perry. I kissed a girl and I liked it.
Okay.
Transgender, they got up to 1.3. I mean, and that's through heavy advertising and telling kids that your parents don't have to approve, I think.
Yeah.
That's how they got it. And this is all self-described. And I think it's popular to self-describe right now in some cliques, some groups.
It is.
Like in Gen Zs. Yeah. Gen Zs, they represent 20% of this number because they have been molded by these movies coming out and the popularity of it.
Our education system,
DEI, all of that.
Yeah.
And they kissed a girl.
Yeah.
So now they're in that number. So it's kind of an artificially high number anyway. And back in 2012, it only represented 3.5% on the books. They've been able to get it up to 28%, and they're not going to stop till they get 100% transgender.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk to Mike. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm going into the weekend, going into the midterm election. We need to keep repeating over and over and over and over again who's responsible for this invasion. This is Barack Obama. And Barack Obama is the Democrat Party. This is Barack Obama's legacy. You want to give that rat a historical legacy? This is what it was. He divided America. He increased racism, and he invaded this country with the purpose of overturning it. This Islamic thing.
Yeah, well, of course. Going into the voting booth, Mike, it doesn't matter if Barack Obama started. I mean, I think it's great for history to understand it, and it's great to know that it's still going on. But we need to know the names of those that are carrying that baton now. Who's carrying the baton?
Barack Obama is the Democrat Party.
But I can't vote against him.
No. He's the face of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, that doesn't mean a lot.
You're voting against the Democrats.
Yes,
Democrats.
for a lot of reasons, but more for me. Yes. For me, it's more for the current guys that are part of DSA, Democratic Socialists, that want to end the country. That's who I'm voting against. Yeah, Barack Obama started it, and before him, it was Karl Marx, and all that stuff. Sure. But I'm worried about today. Right now, we got Ocasio-Cortez, we got Rashid Tlaib, we got Madani. Those are the names, and we need to know who they are and where they're taking us. Obama's not taking us anywhere. He's playing in the garbage can down in South Chicago.
Well, correct, but we have been talking about education and knowledge is going to bring this country back.
Sure.
Barack Obama has to be assigned responsibility for this whole thing. This invasion was the domestic policy.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't think it's as important as you do. I don't think that's going to resonate with anybody that's going to go vote. Right now, we need to worry about where we're going, not where we've been.
And then I wanted to add on to that, if you let me.
Go.
The reason why we are in Iran is because of Barack Obama's foreign policy.
I don't care.
How can you not care?
I don't care. I think it has more to do with Jimmy Carter. But I want to know where we are today. inform people today where we are. And we can say it goes back to Benedict Arnold or something, but it doesn't matter.
Who did we fight in the Civil War?
In the Civil War?
Yes. What were the sides?
The Democrat from the South, the
Yeah.
slave owners.
You know, when you have the guy on the street with the mic, and he puts it in these people's face,
Yeah.
and you say, well, what? Who did we fight in the Civil War? And people go, Germany? This is the reason why.
We need to learn our
Why
civics.
are we?
Yeah.
Why are we in this situation in this country right now? Is because of the domestic agenda of the Democrat Party led by Barack Obama. Okay. We are in Iran because of the foreign policy because of Barack Obama.
It's a footnote to me. Okay, okay.
Oh.
That's the kick. That's a kickoff. He did it 20 years ago. But what we're doing right now is what's important. What Chuck Schumer's doing right now.
How are we going to get? How are we going to fix this Islamic problem?
I guess we called Barack Obama.
Okay, seriously, how are you going to fix this?
I want to be serious. I want to bring it to date right now. I think what Trump is doing, I like it. I like it that he's redefining what we're doing. We don't have boots on the ground. We're trying to not do a regime takeover by any means. He just wants to stop the one it is and take every asset away from them, including food, including energy, including electricity, everything. Just take it away. And I think that's going to be more effective than putting boots on the ground and do like we did in our Vietnam or whatever. We don't need to do that stuff. I think.
What do you mean like Vietnam? What do you mean like Vietnam?
Vietnam, where we spend a dozen years and walk away with 50,000 dead, and they take the country anyway.
Well, you're changing the subject a little bit, of course. Trump is using the military the way it's supposed to be used. We're not going to get into a Vietnam with Trump because he's not going to make this a political.
Well, that's exactly what I was referring to. He's doing something.
Vietnam was a political. The reason why, and again, you have to assign all of those deaths in Vietnam to the Democrat Party, and one of the main murderers of American soldiers was McNamara. The way McNamara fought that war is because that wall in Washington D.C. is as long as it is.
I have a lot of friends that were there that you would tell me that that's right. It was poorly programmed. Mike, I got to run. I want to talk about some current stuff, buddy.
You have a good day, sir.
Buddy, take care, man. Bye bye. I mean, he had some good points. I just don't really want to talk about Barack Obama. I don't care.
Well, and he's still active. He's trying to undermine Trump and all that kind of stuff.
And that's important.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's like, okay, we're here where we're here. How do we go forward? How do we?
And I'm not saying ignore the past or ignore how we got there, so we don't repeat it. That's great. Yeah. But our big urgency.
The biggest is how we save our country and keep it on the right path.
And we don't do it by calling Barack Obama. We don't. See, I'm not in Australia, but I just want to mention something here I thought interesting. On Australia, they started having these silver spears showing up on the beaches, washing ashore. Those round silver spears. They finally figured out, people didn't know what to do with it. They're calling it was a big mystery, and it's UFOs. They go right to the UFO.
Oh, okay.
Right to the UFO. It wasn't. It was from a space launch vehicle. I guess it was some kind of pressure vessel that didn't burn up on reentry or burn up when it came down.
Okay.
So if you've seen those spears out there, I don't know if they're dangerous or what, but they're saying they are dangerous. I don't know whether I could believe them. I remember when the space shuttle went down and it blew up and pieces were washing ashore in Texas and all that stuff. Right. And they said, don't touch any of it. It's all, and I quit all the reasons, but they lied to us. They just wanted to collect it all. They didn't want to take it, which is fine.
Right.
So I don't know if they're lying that these things are dangerous or not. But they could be. I don't know.
Could be.
I'm not going to risk it, but I don't believe them.
Well, it depends, because some of I think we're putting some reactors on some of these stuff they put up in space. So you'd have to be. I would wear gloves if you handle it.
The spears look intact, so it could have some chemical in there too. That's very, some of them chemicals that they use for fuels and stuff are very terrible, caustic, dangerous. They said, do not handle debris, space objects built from a range of materials that may be hazardous. It's fair. They should be handled appropriately by trained, equipped professionals. Contact local authorities. I wouldn't want one as a souvenir anyway. I would just contact them and run. Just get out of there. But sometimes they lie to us, and it's hard to tell. Hard to tell.
Yes, that's true.
From these guys. That came from the Australian Space Agency. I thought most anything that hit the water after that would, well, I guess not. On the initial stages, they're not going to burn up coming down. They're going to splash.
Yeah.
That's probably what this came from, I would guess. Something like that.
Probably, or a satellite out of low Earth orbit that didn't burn up, didn't go through the atmosphere enough to burn up, that kind of thing.
Dean's not here, so I'm going to talk about black bears. But Dean loves black bears.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's a bear historian.
Okay.
He can tell you all about bears. So I'm going to do it without him just to make him mad. There was in Lake Tahoe at a vacation home. Some guy doesn't live there, I guess. I think he was vacationing or something. Cortland Kerwitz said his daughter spotted a bear rummaging out through the garbage can. So he did what most of the guys would do. He grabbed his bear spray and went out there. Is that what you do?
I don't think so.
If you did, would you? Okay, would you go outside to look for the bear to find out and tell the bear, get off my lawn?
I might walk outside, take a few pictures, but I would be close to the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you take bear spray?
If I had it, of course.
Would you take a pistol?
I'd have that too.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not confident.
A big pistol, like a 44 mag, or
I'm not. Yeah,
Desert
something.
Eagle or something. Yeah,
I'm not confident of the bear spray. I'm just not. So he went out to investigate. Guys investigate. He went out to investigate, and an animal came up behind him. Scared. Rushed him. It was a small bear. It wasn't real big. He says, I just caught him out of my left eye, and the bear was rushing in. We were both startled, and I just shot the spray. Now, here's the problem. The bear ran away. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Scared him. A 22 shot into the ground would probably have made him run away.
Yeah.
It was a little cub or something. But the wind was blowing in his face.
Of course. Of course.
So he got to experience what he wanted the bear to experience. I don't think the bear got any from the looks of the video. Like I think the bear saw the can of spray and said, "Nah, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I've had enough trash." He got caught in the face. Yeah. So I want Dean to investigate that. How many people use the bear spray and then spray themselves instead?
I know it happens. I've heard about it. But yeah.
But this article says, look, if you're in an area, and Lake Tahoe is an area that has bears, they do have bears. Mm-hmm. Secure your garbage cans. Don't put food outside. Don't put it in your vehicle. You see that at Yellowstone where people put the picnic basket in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, they can open up that car like you open up a beer can.
Yeah, I saw videos of them ripping a door off a car.
Yeah. Pretty strong little things there. Yeah. Bears. Yeah, don't put the picnic basket in the back seat. Let Yogi just hand it to Yogi if you're going to do that. Don't do that. So It says remain alert, and I would say don't spray bear spray unless the bear's downwind.
Yeah. I think there's different types of bear spray. Sometimes the bear spray puts out that narrow stream and shoots it a long ways. So but you got to be, it can't be a big wind blowing in your face like what we had last night. But
man, what happened? I mean, I got up this morning and my wife Helen had put all these campaign signs in front yard, and those yard signs that have those little metal things. All of them were bent 30 degrees to the left when I came out. And at first I thought, some kid came along here and just pranking around, bent all these signs down, which I could laugh at. There was no damage. But then I looked around, there was trash everywhere and everything. And I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, all the trash cans were laying down. And then the other thing was, like, when I got outside, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to say it was hazy, but it was either like dirt or fog or something muggy. Like that. Yeah, it was
Today's
Kind of weird.
You know, my dog wanted to go outside. You know,
Yeah.
it's a rude dog, and I don't have one of those doggy doors where it can do it whenever it wants.
Okay.
It has to ask permission.
Okay.
At 2:00 in the morning, and
Yeah.
it's the first time I opened up the door and had a gust of warm air hit me in the face.
Yeah.
So we're in that part of it.
Yeah. Your dog must be upset at you because can't go into the radio show with you every morning.
Yeah, she cries every day.
It's like you're not taking
And
it.
she looks every day like you're leaving again without me.
Yeah.
Well, if you know Derek at all, he keeps his place spot. I mean, he's meticulous.
Yeah.
And it's such a big building. And the dog, if the dog knows I'm here, she thinks it's got to be protected.
Yeah.
She'd try to protect this whole building from the people that work here.
Yeah.
I think it would be disruptive.
Yeah.
At the radio station, I was kind of alone.
Mm-hmm.
It only barked at my guest.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to bring the little mutt in. I miss her though.
Yeah. She got to know me though.
Oh yeah. She liked you.
Yeah.
Little creepy dog. Drones. And I know you're a Marine,
Mm-hmm.
but the use of drones now, particularly in Russia and Ukraine, got to be shocking to you even. I mean, just
How fast it took off, you know. So long time ago, I knew this was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to go this fast. You know, I knew drones were the future. In fact, well, I can't go back into those programs, but there were programs way back when that used.
Well, they're not secret
drones.
anymore.
Yeah, no, they're not. And it used to be that drones were a little bit more expensive, but
A little bit more. The Reaper's like $1 million plus.
yeah, but back in the 80s, had drones that you could launch them and they'd go after a target. If they lost the target, they'd start circling in a circle until they found the target again, and then they'd go after the target.
Back in the 80s.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, currently that's going on like with AI, with
Right.
with ease.
Yeah.
That's cheap now. It didn't used to be expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, everything with GPS, with GPSs and all that kind of stuff. Now, the advancement of GPS and taking off the P coding, which is a precision, drones can do all kinds of things now. And with the miniaturization of cameras, now the drones can carry cameras, you know, with ease, and they can carry payloads. So, and now my understanding is in Ukraine and Russia that the battlefield is full of fiber optic cables, because now they're using fiber optics on the drones so they can't be jammed.
I got a message on Facebook. It says you are an idiot. I think that's for you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know in reference to what. I mean, there's so many different items it could be an idiot on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But these drones have dramatically changed, like you said, just so rapidly.
Yes.
And we're not the only ones with them. In fact, we're not even the most advanced at this point. I think it's Ukraine more advanced than us.
Yeah.
They're at least as far as we know. We don't know what they're working on, but I heard also that the Reaper drone, they stopped making that a couple of years ago. So what they have in the inventory right now, which is like 130 left, that's it. They're not going to have any more.
Yeah, and they lost several in
Iran, 30 of them.
Yeah.
30. I heard a report on that, just 30. Well, they're slow and not hidden, and they don't have any defensiveness at all. They're old school, solid platforms. I mean, we use the heck out of them, apparently.
Yes.
For all kinds of things, you know, offensively and reconnaissance and everything else. And it doesn't involve the risk of a pilot.
Right. And they can be used for designating targets and all kinds of stuff. So planes can deliver ordnance on target, those types of things too.
Yeah. So, but now they're not looking to replace anymore or fix them anymore. They're looking at cheaper ones, because you look at the Reapers, and I say $1 million. I think they were $1 million initially. Were they probably 5 million, 10 million? I don't know. They're complex aircraft.
Yes.
And now they're looking at this Ukrainian model where, you know, they build a $2,000 machine that's just as effective as anything for their needs. Yeah, but they kind of, it's specialized. You got a drone built just for attacking other drones, a drone built just for reconnaissance, a drone built just for bombing.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of stuff.
I was looking at one the other day, and they're small. They carry little charge, but it was made out of a 3D printer, and they printed these drones
Yes.
by the thousands.
Well,
and an airplane just comes along with a big pod, just dispenses them, and they
that's Ukraine.
literally swarm a target.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the Ukraine anti-drone answer. That's what they shoot them at other drones.
Yeah.
The Shaheeds and stuff.
Yeah.
And they cost like $1,000 to $2,000 or something. And they're very effective. And they started off using those off the ground. They go about 180 miles an hour at peak, which is crazy for that little thing.
Right.
But they can only hold the charge for like 20 minutes. That's it. It's done. And if you make it scream fast, it's less than that. But they were taking them off the ground, but they had to get to altitude. They used most of their energy to get to altitude, but they only release them when they know there's something there, and they were very effective. But once you get up in the air and you put them on a plane and release them from a plane, already at altitude, man.
Well, that's the video. There was 3 F-18s. They all had a pod, and they were just flying.
Oh, F-18s.
Yeah, F-18s with a pod, and these 3D. They said they were printed out of paper, but it was on a 3D printer, and they carry a small charge. And literally, these 3 F-18s released hundreds of drones.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a different one than I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
I was thinking of Ukraine's got them, but they're using a 60-year-old turbo cargo plane, and they put hard mounts on the wings, and they're launching them from the wings.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they do it on the cheap. They don't use an F-18.
Yeah.
they don't have that kind of cash.
Yeah.
Over in Ukraine, they just take it. They utilize an old cargo plane. Does the same thing.
Yeah. They probably. Well, and it varies with the size of the drones. Like the ones I saw, they were pretty small, and they carry a small charge, but they're literally hundreds of them would descend upon a target, and when that was destroyed, then they'd go to the next one.
Right.
Yeah. It was
I think the Ukraine ones, when it looked like a bullet almost, and it probably 11, 12 inches tall, and amazing destructive force for such a little thing. Of course, it doesn't take much to bring down some of these fiberglass drones and stuff.
Right.
Doing it. But anyway, this article talks about what you just said, the escalation of innovation that's coming with these drones, and what it's doing to Russia right now. What Ukraine is doing to Russia, particularly in the last week. They just hit 9 oil tankers in one night in Russia. Oil tankers that were going into Crimea, which is already starved of oil. It's illegal to sell oil to civilians right now, or gas, because they're on such short supply, because the drones have been busting up the refineries, the ships, everything. So they sent these ships down to Crimea to resupply Crimea. They took all 9 of them out. With drones. I don't know what kind of drones, but they took them out with drones.
But the one attack that I had laughed about is Ukraine sent a tractor trailer into Russia. So it went way deep into the country, and they opened up the side of the trailer, and it had drones just lined up, and they just fired all the drones out of the back of this tractor trailer.
Oh yeah, they did that like a year or so ago.
I know, it was a while ago, but there was wow.
And those things were pre-programmed to hit airplanes, certain kind of airplane.
Yes.
And not only hit the airplane, they hit it in a specific place where they knew it would activate the fuel tanks, or hit the fuel tanks and burn them to the ground.
Right.
And they were released when that tractor trailer drove by the airport, and they just popped right out.
Yeah.
And they manufactured it, put it together in Russia.
Yeah.
At a warehouse they rented next to a police station.
Yeah.
I saw a special on that whole story. I was like, holy man.
They wanted to be safe.
By
the police.
Yeah. Nobody would expect us to be doing this here, right next to the police station in a warehouse.
That's like the pagers that blew up the Russian or the Israelis made.
And this article talks a lot about the innovation, about how Russia is unprepared to handle it. They don't know what to do with it. In fact, we're getting drones now coming out of Iran going 1,500 miles and blowing up oil tank, oil stuff, distributors, or distill station, plants, where they're making the gas. Unexpected. The Russians aren't expecting. No one's expecting it. They got some anti-aircraft stuff there. Now, because Russia is so short on personnel and everything, they told the companies that are running the refineries and everything, they are responsible for their own protection and will give you the equipment, but you got to operate it because we don't have the soldiers. These guys don't know how to fire it.
Yeah.
So they're shooting wildly and not hitting anything.
Yeah. And so they have also developed a bullet that fractures after you shoot it. So it fractures into little smaller, almost like a shotgun.
Is that effective?
I guess, because they're using it. I guess it's helping shoot down these drones with the rifle.
Well, because Russia's unprepared, they're getting their hat handed to them financially.
Yes.
On the ground, even though the Russian troops are in chaos, or out of food, they're stressed, they got all that because they're not getting supplies either. Mm-hmm. They're still gaining slight amount of territory here and there. Ukraine gives up a kilometer in a week or so.
Oh, I thought Ukraine had kind of turned.
They did in some areas. In some areas they do, and then in other areas, Russia has been taking some. But I think net for the first time, Ukraine had a little bit of a net gain overall. But the amount of gain that like Russia's had in the last year, it would still take them another 100 years to take the country. It's so small that it's not worth talking about. But it's basically stalemate.
Yeah. Well, and Crimea is about, as you talked about, Crimea is about ready to fold.
It is already. Yeah. People are abandoning it. You can't buy gas. Gas is on the black market. There's transportation is completely cut off. The logistics are cut off. Mm-hmm. And this is a new thing by Ukraine. Let's starve them out. Stop. I mean, they're not doing that much on the front, but they want to starve them out. And they're saying Russia's not prepared. But then the article says neither is the United States. And that's the point. Yeah. That what's happening with Russia right now, don't think we're safe because we don't have the answers to this.
Yeah. And I know Hegseth has talked about this a lot. They are, trying to catch up to to be able to fight the next war. And
yes,
that's one of the biggest flaws of a lot of general officers that plan is they plan to fight the last war.
Because that's what they know.
Yeah, exactly. And I watched a commandant or two, think, okay, this is what we're going because we had this problem now. And it's like, well, no, wait a minute. We got to fight the next war. And that's when the Marine Corps cut back on their air defense systems. I just felt it was incompetence on the general's part. It's like, you don't understand where warfare is going, and when the Marine Corps did away with some of their air defense systems.
Let's take a phone call. Good morning, Gilbert.
Good morning. Hey, Greg, you were talking about all these little bitty things that are up in the air.
Yeah.
Sort of reminds me of the old beehive round. Remember the old beehive round?
Yeah. Yeah.
It floated up in the air and all these where the darts would come out.
Yep. Yes.
Cover an area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some small ones and I've seen some big ones, depending what round it came out. So technology has advanced a long ways from the beehives. And I was at that flag ceremony Saturday, and the new commander at YPG, his speech made me feel proud of working at YPG because he brought up a lot of stuff that we did out there. And I'm nodding my head. Yep. I was there. Yep, I did that. Absolutely. And I left that ceremony feeling good about myself and my time, my 20 years out there, and what we did for our troops.
Yeah. YPG is very important to all the services. All the services test their equipment out there. So it's a very important facility.
I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about how hot it got out there. And we didn't complain about the heat. We said, damn, it's hot and stuff like that. But we had to do a job. And one of our jobs, we traveled 13 miles, but it took us an hour to get those 13 miles because of what we were doing. And when you're in a Humvee with no air conditioner, they'd be getting hot.
Yep, I know it well.
I know you do. And I'm talking about the ragtop Humvees.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know all of that very well. 130
And
degrees without air conditioning is not fun.
it's not fun. And we did it 10 hours a day, sometimes 14 hours a day, 6 days or 7 days in a week, because we had to take care of some business to protect our troops.
Yep.
And I was damn proud that we did it out there.
Yeah.
But this colonel, his spill, he's a new one, a young man, very young man. And I felt good because there were some people out there for a paycheck, but most of us were there to get our troops safe. And that's what it was all about. Yeah. But I was listening to you and I'm thinking, I remember going out downrange and seeing all these little darts that came out of the beehive round.
Yep. Yeah.
And there were some 6-inch darts out there that came out of that round.
Yes.
But anyways,
yeah.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Catch you later.
Yeah,
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that how important YPG is, because the testing that they do in the desert and the heat, but that they also have cold weather. They have a place up north, and then they have another jungle testing area. So YPG does a lot of things and can test all the military equipment in all these different environments that all military services need. It's not just Army, but it's us actually. All the services test things, and actually different countries come out there to test equipment too.
Oh, they do. I know.
Yeah.
I've been out there before. And there's lots of countries out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
because other countries don't have ranges like we have. That's why protecting YPG is so important. And the ranges at MCAS Yuma, between Yuma and Luke, those ranges and the Chocolate Mountains are nowhere. There used to be one in the Middle East, but that one partially shut down. So these are like the only ranges around in the world, in the free world, I should say.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of countries can't do what we do.
No.
Like YPG. They have to come here.
Yes.
It just, they don't have space. They don't have the ability to do all that stuff. Getting back to these drones in the United States not being ready. This article goes into a little bit about, what's happened to Russia that's not ready, but we're no more. And it mentions that air bases, power grids, our Navy, aircraft carriers, all are subject.
Yeah.
Are open to that. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, Danny.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing well.
Good, buddy. What you doing this weekend, buddy?
I haven't decided yet, but maybe sleeping in.
That sounds like a winner to me, buddy boy.
Yeah, we might try it.
Hey, you know something? What about this so-called sandstorm, air quotes, we're having here?
Well, I didn't. Greg and I, neither one of us knew anything about it until we got up this morning and looked around. And Veteran Dave just sent me a picture, a video. I guess it woke him up because he got up and took some video. Thank you, Dave. So I didn't have to.
In the spot, boy.
Yeah, Veteran Dave did that.
Yeah, was it a haboob?
Hey,
or what was
I don't
it?
know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Were you up, Danny? Did you go outside and watch it?
No, well, no. I went outside and I usually look at the mountains first thing. I couldn't see them.
Couldn't see them. Maybe they moved them overnight.
Oh, they moved them. No, no. It was just so dang windy over here in the foothills. Like I said, since I've been down here for 15 years, I've yet to see a dust storm. And is this a dust storm?
Oh man, I've seen some, but I didn't know we were having one last night.
Well, neither did I.
Yeah.
Who did? And I still don't have a TV, Russ.
Well, buddy, you need, at least you have, get a radio or something. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, or CB radio, huh?
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, you know something? The reason I'm calling, you were talking about something yesterday,
Okay.
and I'll be danged if I can remember what it was. And boy, did it make a lot of sense, whatever it was.
Well, then I'm going to agree with you completely. I don't know if I made sense.
I'm sure.
That's good.
I'm sure you will. I was getting back to the sandstorm. I just got done cleaning up my trailer here, and then we get hit with another sandstorm, and now I got to do it all over again.
Well, that's the way it goes, man. Never wash your car because then it will do that.
Not around here, no.
So I keep mine dirty.
Yeah, well,
All right, buddy.
that way we can identify you.
Yeah, that's right. Be good, my friend. Take care.
Okay, buddy. Have a nice weekend.
Bye bye. The fleets that we just sent over to Iran, well, they tried to send drones, they tried to send stuff at them, and the fleets were able to take care of it. But they did it with Patriots that are anywhere from $1 to $5 million a copy against $30,000 drones. And we did adjust. They quickly bought a bunch of drones from the Ukraine. Those little $1,000 interceptor drones for the Shaheeds and stuff. They did that. Plus, they're using some laser type weapons that are still kind of, they're not talking too much about, but we know we're not up. We're not up to speed. And they're saying that if they wanted to launch drones from Cuba, from Mexico, from a carrier just offshore, but still in international waters, a cargo ship, like the things you explained with the tractor trailer, that you could do it just on a cargo ship. You could launch thousands of drones or something to do those, because a lot of these drones now have range capabilities, in excess of 100 miles. It's not unusual.
Yeah.
And some of the more sophisticated ones can go over 1,000 miles. Hard to detect on radar. So we've got a lot of work to do. And I know right now Congress is looking at the budget for the Defense Department, and it came in over $1 trillion. I mean, it was all of a sudden some big thing.
Yeah.
And they want to say no because they hate Trump. But if we don't get this thing straightened out, and they're looking at the Golden Dome, which the left doesn't want to do that either because it's Trump's idea. But we need it. We're not ready for this drone, and this drone thing is happening so fast that every country can do it. Now, when we do things like the some of the missiles we've done, the cruise missiles and all those kind of things, are highly sophisticated stuff. Smaller countries can't keep up with that. Right. They can't. They do a poor job of it. Yeah. Ukraine's done some pretty good stuff with ballistic missiles, but they're still not near as sophisticated as what we've got. But now with these cheap drones, they're on an even par. They can easily produce those things in mass quantities.
Or you can buy them off the shelf.
Yeah, you can buy them off the shelf. That too. So the threat's real. I think Hegseth recognizes it. Trump recognizes it. They're putting it into the budget. They're putting it into the anti-drone technology they want to put into the new White House ballroom.
Right.
And that's why the price has gone up.
Yeah.
Is it's now going to be a sophisticated anti-whatever weapons, whatever they've got, and the Department of Defense is going to put all that in, assuming they get off this trying to block Trump from building a ballroom. I think that thing piggybacked on after the fact.
It did.
Like Trump says that we can build this ballroom for $400 million.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden say, well, why is it over like $1 billion now or something? And, well, it's not. It's just the DOD is going to put a 5-story basement in as which was supposed to not be public, but because it all went to court, and the judge is asking, wanting to stop the project, and it's like, well, wait, Judge, we got to get these secure things in there, and they had to come clean with it.
Yeah. Well, they have these woke judges that want to interfere with everything.
Yeah. It's not. And I don't think it deters too much. I mean, I think the only people that don't know about it is the public. I think our enemies' intelligence is enough to at least know something's going on.
Yeah.
Other than
and it's not. I mean, we have those types of facilities in the Pentagon. Some of it in the Pentagon and some other places too. But obviously adding it into the White House to me makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I just got a news report on my phone, and I get that. I subscribe to some stuff, and I usually just look at them later. But this one kind of, I just saw the headline real quick, and the headline is, "I will blanking kill you." So I said, well, I got to look at that. I thought someone was sending me a love message. No, it was a news report.
It's like, you idiot.
Yeah. Well, that one was mine. I think they sent it to me. I think it was for you. The woman pulled alongside a pest control salesman in her SUV and shoved a gun in his face and threatened his life, according to police. Now, when it says according to police,
Yeah.
there's already trouble.
Yes.
I can't. Now the Florida woman's out on bond right now. She threatened to kill a pet. What the heck? So, 62-year-old was charged with aggravated assault, booked in the Lee County Jail. A door-to-door pest control salesman. What? Why?
Probably because killing bugs.
It was around 1 o'clock, so in the afternoon. It was not at midnight or anything.
Yeah.
Going from house to house on his one-wheel hoverboard. The driver came over and threatened to kill him with a Ruger SR-22 handgun. Not very powerful, but it worked. If you come back to my house, I will blank and kill you. I'll shoot you. And yes, and they. I don't think that's good for you to do that.
Yeah,
I don't recommend it. And but you'll at least make some new friends with badges.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take a phone call. Daniel, what do you want?
Russ, I'm sorry. So I forgot to mention something. Could you do a public announcement here, PBA?
Well, tell me what it is first before I agree.
Oh, you're a smart one, Mr. Grinch. Let me tell you.
What is it?
All right. No. Okay. Here in the Westwind RV park, well, seeing as it's the hottest damn day in the year, they decide to switch out these gigantic transformers here.
Yeah.
So what they did was they supplied us with rolling generators. Okay. And what happened was last night, around 10 o'clock last night, my generator that they supplied went kabooey.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Wasn't working. So I was outside until about 4 o'clock this morning until I finally got the thing running again.
Would it run out of gas or something?
Yeah. I was going to say to the guy, hey, did you check the gasket? But I didn't want to piss the guy off.
Yeah. You got to check the gas on those every once in a while. They ever know.
Exactly. Well, they do have a guy that comes around in the morning, early in the morning, that checks things. And I'm
not early enough, according to what I heard.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I don't know if you can put that out or not. It's no big deal.
I can't do that. All right.
Okay. No. Well, that's why you agreed to hear it first.
All right, buddy. I appreciate the call.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I did it already, didn't I?
Oh, that's right. You did. Okay. Thanks for reminding me.
Boy, that's a terrible time to swap out transformers. That's like,
Well, for a lot of reasons. Somebody's got to be up on a ladder doing
of
it.
course, maybe it was probably critical. They're probably going to go anyway, and so they needed to swap them out.
That could be.
Yeah,
because the hot weather isn't just bad for you and the animals and uncomfortable and all that. Equipment. I'm talking cars, trucks, transformers.
Yeah.
If it's on edge, today's the day.
Yeah. Well, and you know the surface temperature on things outside can get like 168, 170 degrees because of the solar radiation. So it's. You know, you see a device that's spec'd to go to 130, 135 degrees. That is not enough in Yuma.
No.
If it's on the roof or outside on the thing, that is not enough.
It's not enough. And in the, we fix automobiles during the day, but this kind of weather is when engines fail, transmissions, because the car's already hot and getting hot. But when you start off on days like, when it's 110, 115 and you stress that engine, if it's weak, it's going to break.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
Yeah.
Just take it over to Chris.
Yeah.
and we've had him. We see him bring in on a hook all the time, people traveling through that think they can make it, like it's getting red, the needle's getting red in the car and hot. They think, well, I think I can. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Just shut it down. Save yourself thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And
shut it down. In fact, call a tow truck, pay a few $100. And if you got some little problem, I had one a couple of years ago that a nice SUV. It was garage kept, really nice. It was older, but it was in great shape. And the electronic fans went out. The cooling fans on the engines, for the radiators, a lot of times is belt driven by the engine.
Right.
A lot of cars, though, including this Chrysler,
Yeah.
has electronic.
Mm-hmm.
So if that electric motor fails, because it gets hot again, it's that thing. If it can get hot, and if it's weak, it's going to fail.
Yeah.
And he knew it. The guy driving it knew it. The owner knew it. And they said, well, I'm only 20, 30 miles out of Yuma. I can probably make it. Well, he did, but it was on the hook of a wrecker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the engine was destroyed and the car wasn't worth fixing.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
It cost more money to fix it what that van was worth.
Yeah.
So he dropped it off and we took care of it for him. But he bought a new one when he got back to Phoenix.
Of course.
Yeah. So he just didn't know he was going to take a trip and trash it that day, but it happened. So be careful out there. If you got a car that's on edge, get it checked out before you start putting pressure on it. You know, it could be something easily fixed, like a radiator flush or a fan or something simple.
Yeah.
That could turn into catastrophic engine failure.
Yep.
All you can do is swap out a new one. I know you're a Trump fan, as I.
Yes.
I've noticed a change in him, though. He is really done with Iran. And I know this because he says, I'm done with Iran.
Yeah.
These guys are liars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and the big thing is, he said, he's like, I don't even know if it's worth trying to do a deal with them because I don't think they'll live up to it. And
he said that Kersher and other, you guys can go talk to him, but you still got to get it by me. And I don't think they're worth it.
If you remember, I gave between a 0 and a 1% chance.
You were generous.
Working. Yeah.
I think everybody knew that they were going to do something stupid.
Yeah. But I also think I knew that Trump had to give them a chance.
I agree. And in hindsight now, I still agree. I think for the world stage, I think for the voters in the United States and for people that says he was too trigger happy and went too quick, or he should have, because they were ready and you refused it. I think he had to.
Yeah. And what I've seen online now it's gone from, 50-50 now to about 19 out of 20 saying finish it.
Yes, because he's been too patient. I've got people that love Trump.
Yep. And
they call me and say, he's doing it wrong, Russ. He just needs to do it. He just needs to finish it.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people call and tell me that Gilbert's one of them.
Yeah. It's too
Gilbert's been in the backyard hitting, doing the chores a little more aggressively because he's angry that Trump hasn't finished.
Yeah.
He's getting done quicker though. He's got more energy into it,
Yes.
So right now, according to Trump, the ceasefire's called off.
Yeah. Ceasefire's over.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean today can't change. I mean, Trump's going to roll with what's in front of him, but
they are still talking with whoever they're negotiating with.
But Trump has let him know that you still got to get it by me. No one's going to make any decisions but me.
Well, and I think he's going to continue to hit them. I don't think he's going to stop hitting them. I think they're going to basically giving them, you got your target list, go ahead, move forward.
I think they've done it 3 days in a row now.
Yeah.
And when they do hit them, it's like 80, 90 targets. It's not like, well, you hit one tanker, we're going to hit one of yours. No.
Yeah.
He said 20 times, but I think it's been more than 20.
Yeah.
20 times, which is the way to go at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'll take one and I'll give you one and all that kind of stuff. Here's a surprise though, is he's done with Iran. He's gone on TV and said that. He wants everyone to know, the allies, the enemies, everybody to know. And and this kinetic energy startup, and I thought, well, Brent crude's going to go back right up over 100.
It didn't. It went down.
Well, right now it's slightly up, but it's still within. It's at 76.90 right now.
It did go up a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But nothing like I thought.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that was going on was even though Iran's oil was going back on the market, is nobody was buying it, and now China is only buying a little bit of it. They're the only one. People aren't buying it because they want to switch to more reliable sources for their oil.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was, and again, I can only go with the reports that I see, but people were not buying Iranian oil.
Well, Brent crude, in the last 3 months, the high let me see. Oh, the low was 58.39. The low was 58.39. So it's not been at 76 is not that high. And 58 was a blip. I mean, it was
Right.
nothing for very long. But for the last month or so, it's been between 71 and 75. Now it's 76.90. It's not that much up.
Yeah.
In fact, for the 3 months low, it's only $18 a barrel higher than the 3-month low right now. And that was for a short time. If you go back a year, a year was 58.39. The 3-month low is $70.40. I got those. My notes are bad. It was the low for the last 3 months is $70. So it's only $6.90 over the low.
Yeah.
It's $18 over the last year high because we used to have it down lower. So it's up $18. It was 58.39 about a year ago.
But I think as these oil prices settle in, I think we'll see our price of gasoline will probably drop into the low $3 a gallon, $3.50.
Well, yeah, because the stuff we're buying off the shelf right now is still from the $100 stuff,
Right.
because it takes months to refine it once
Right.
they do buy it.
Yeah.
Although Trump has been pushing them like, lower your prices now, don't wait.
Yeah. Well,
And some have done that.
Yeah, in Texas and Arkansas, it was $3.01 a gallon when I was there.
I just checked the cheapest in Yuma.
Yeah.
And Cocoa Paw.
Yeah.
Is the cheapest at $3.66.
That's probably I don't know if they
That's
have
in
to,
Somerton, isn't it?
yeah, well, they don't have to have certain
I've never seen them on the
taxes.
list as the cheapest before. This is something new.
Yeah. Well,
And Arco's at $3.75.
mhm.
Love's is at $3.79. Sam's at $3.83. Circle K at $3.89. So it's continuing to come down.
Right.
Nickel and diming it down. So I think we're in good shape. OPEC is increasing production, which is unusual because they haven't agreed to it. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
And of course, one of them dropped out. I don't know. Was it Qatar that dropped out or United Arab Emirates? One of them.
I think UAE was.
UAE?
I
Yeah.
think so.
I think they dropped out.
Yeah.
Well,
and then they're building that pipeline to bypass the straits.
and that's what this article is a lot about.
Yeah.
There's so many alternative routes now that people are doing. They're the growing oil production and alternative routes they've opened up. Saudi Arabia has got an oil pipeline going across the whole country.
Yeah.
To take it off on the other side. And I guess they started pushing that up to maximum. United Arab Emirates has got the same thing. Oman's got the same thing. They can't take all of it that way because their pipeline isn't big enough to carry their full capacity.
Yeah.
But they're building more capacity for those.
Mhm.
So Iran is getting their weapon taken away from them. And they don't have a nuclear weapon. That's what they wanted. So nobody mess with me. I'll blow you up. They're the terrorist type mentality.
Yeah.
Well, they had been strengthening the Strait of Hormuz for decades, putting in these missiles and bombs and stuff deep into mountains and boring the mountains out and putting in these fast attack boats in secret harbors that they put behind rock and stuff. So you can't get to them. They've been doing that for years. Well, they pulled the trigger on it and said, we're going to shut the strait down. And we've been taking a lot of that out already. We haven't taken out 100% of it, but it's mostly all gone. And I thought because of this, it all started back up, that the traffic through the strait would come to a stop, to a zero again. It's not.
Nope. I heard 25 ships yesterday.
No, it was 48 total.
48.
But that includes cargo, oil, other, and chemical. That includes a lot.
All right.
Okay, so you're sometimes you hear numbers that'll just be oil or just be cargo or something. But I got all four of them together. And then there's websites out there that keep track of these things. I was surprised to see 48, which includes everything, all the different ships coming through. Probably pleasure cruise. I don't know if I would take a cruise ship right now through that. I mean, that might be that'd be a great one. I'd probably get cheap tickets on that one.
So one of the things though is once these ships get out, I don't think I would, if I was a shipping company, I would not send a ship back in there.
I looked at that too, and we got more ships going in than out right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that surprises me.
Me too. But there's some websites out there keeping track of all the shipping, the movement, and we've got more going in. I'm like, who in their right mind is going to go in? But I guess they got to get it from somewhere, and they feel. But it shows you they're feeling like Iran is losing.
Yeah, well, they trust Trump.
They do. They do.
They got to be trusting Trump to protect them in the straits. Then,
yeah, the Trump tankertrackers.com reported Wednesday that 3 Iranian cruise tankers were loaded at Karg Island. They loaded them up.
Really?
Before everything started,
Okay.
while they still could, and they're dependent on it. But I think Iran has officially lost their ability to bully everybody. Trump is like taking away. It's taken months of just pushing and pushing and pushing, and the fact that the price didn't go up, and that means that the insurance on the things, and that's what stopped a lot of it.
Right.
And it's still expensive. I wrote those numbers down the other day, but it's like 20 times what it normally is to get insurance for those things. Now, no one's lost a ship, sunk or anything.
Yeah.
There's been over the last month or so, 5 or 6 of them have been hit,
right,
to some degree. And then we've shot some Iranians, ships in the engine room to disable them, which all that can be eventually fixed. It's not going to cause catastrophe. But I'm feeling like people are confident that this Iranian thing is going to go away, and I think they've really pissed off all the neighbors enough, to where they're willing to do kinetic strikes against Iran.
Yeah, well, they even
Qatar.
They even launched some into Jordan.
Yes,
Jordan's got a pretty powerful military.
I was kind of wondering, what did Jordan do all of a sudden? It was just sitting there.
There's a U.S. base there.
Okay,
yeah, but they're launching drones at Jordan, another one of their neighbors. And like I said, Jordan's got a pretty powerful military, and I don't know how much longer all those guys are going to sit on the sidelines.
They haven't been, though. Apparently, and Trump's been working with them, but apparently Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all, they've been doing some covert stuff to
strikes,
some strikes to disable some Iranian stuff. And I know they're neighbors and they support one another, but they're tired of it.
Yeah.
What is UAE? They make money on oil, sure, but they're resorts. They have hotels that they got to fill.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get that hotel full when you say, drones are coming, duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I might do it now. It could be cheaper right now.
Yeah, it might be the time to go.
Might be time to go.
Yeah.
Let me call Helen and see if she wants to. Want to go to the UAE?
I know Helen. She'll jump right on that.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. She'll jump on a phone call to get me a straitjacket. According to a retired Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery, the southern route creates a route that they can't toll or control. And that southern route is Oman,
right?
And that's what they've been going to. And in fact, that's why that Iran hit those ships. The ships were not going through the international waters. They weren't going through Iranian waters. They were going without permission. Iran's been demanding permission to go through the strait. I own the whole thing. Well, you don't.
Yeah.
A part of it is international, and part of it's Oman's territory. Well, these ships had the audacity to ignore Iran, go through Oman, and they hit, I think, 3 of them recently in the last week, right? Was it 2 or 3?
Total, I think it's a total of 5, 3 in one day, but yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a total of 5.
So, and that caused them to get more heat than they've ever had. I think these last attacks, I don't know if you've seen it in the video, the bombs were big enough from a distance that they just whited out the screen. There was too much for the camera to focus on, and they looked massive, going after still mostly military.
Yeah, well, Bushehr and stuff, that's a pretty big base. Yeah.
Well, they did take out, I think, a bridge somewhere it was a military type bridge.
It was a bridge between Iran and China, railroad
Well, they
bridge.
took that what it was. That's what it was.
Railroad bridge.
For supplies. So you couldn't get supplies from Russia or China.
Right.
I think they both use that rail track.
Yes.
I remember. Did you happen to see Trump in the interview on Air Force One? And this was,
I've seen clips.
I'm just the most recent one after he left Turkey, and they asked him, like, why do we have to close the windows on takeoff? Which is never done on Air Force One, particularly on Air Force One. And and he was pretty blunt about it. He says, he's been listed the #1 guy to kill by Iran and all that.
Right.
And there have been reports of some assassins that have been arrested. not military assassins that
Right.
Iran has hired.
Yeah.
To go after him. So they did not put him on the brand new, bigger, better Air Force One. He was back on the baby blue Air Force One
To come back.
come back because the baby blue has things that the brand new one doesn't have. See, the brand new one was not built as an Air Force One.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have some of the armor and anti-drone, anti-rocket, anti-whatever stuff
Right.
on it. It doesn't have quite the protections that the big one does. And from what I understand, they want him to use the big one primarily, even though he wants to go around and show it off because he's like that.
Yeah.
Look at my new plane.
Yeah.
Keep it domestic.
Mhm.
Is at least what I'm hearing. Keep it domestic is what they're being told. But he was pretty blunt with the and I think they had another airplane. They had two planes. They had one with the press on it that was an Air Force One as a decoy. And he mentioned to the, if they take me out, you're going with me.
Yeah.
Maybe you should change professions.
Yeah. I know.
So he sent instead of him on the plane, I guess they sent a whole plane full of press to see if they got blown up before he went somewhere. I don't know. That's nice, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. They put him on something different, but yeah, he flew the blue one back.
At least
Which,
the mainstream media would serve a good purpose then.
yeah. The fake news. Well, that wouldn't be fake though.
No.
And we don't want them hit.
No.
We don't want
no.
any of that stuff
We
to
don't.
happen. But you can't fly the big one overseas right now. And Turkey's right next to Iran. I mean, that's
Yes.
within missile range.
Yes, it is.
Not where you want the president to be, within missile range
Right.
of a country that has you listed as the number one kill list on the kill list.
Yeah. And of course it's out there for everybody. They know he's going there. And
Yes.
that plane is pretty unique. 747 throws off a pretty big signature.
Yeah, especially when it says United States written all over
Yeah.
it and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did you know who designed the color scheme on the powder blue?
Kennedy, right?
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not John.
No. Yeah. It was Jacqueline.
Okay, we need to get rid of that. It's time. It's dated. It was good for its day.
Yeah. He went to the dark navy blue or whatever it is. Yeah.
I like it.
Flag blue.
red,
like
white,
he did
blue.
for the pool reflecting.
Oh, and that too.
Yeah.
Did you see how that came about? That he picked that color. There was
No.
there was an interview with the engineer or the contractor when he was talking about the pool. He says, and this was all being taped. He says, "Well, what color do you want it?" And you could tell from the look on his face, he never thought about color.
Mhm.
He said, "Well, I guess like a light blue or something like that." And he says, "Well, we have a flag blue." And he says, "That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want that flag blue. That's my color."
Yeah.
And that's how much thought went into it. And the left makes it sound like it's some long conspiracy theory that he's taken over the world.
Yeah.
By painting it flag blue. Of course, the flag blue is so dark, it's very close to the black.
Mhm.
And it was black on purpose for the reflection.
Yeah.
For a better reflection. And the dark blue doesn't interfere with that at all,
Yeah.
but it gives it.
Yeah. And you saw they indicted the Olympic canoer for tearing up.
But
the
he
pool,
said he didn't do it. He's pleaded not guilty.
even though they have
Film.
film
Yeah,
and
yeah.
eyewitnesses. Yeah.
But in his heart, he was not trying to hurt it. That's
Yes,
what he
it-
said. He says he's just curious. So he just was
As he
reaching down.
grabbed the
He was reaching down and tugging on it.
with
Yeah.
both hands and trying
Yeah.
to rip it out. But
Yeah, he was curious. That was a curious tug.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's an Olympic guy, but the left will rally around him
Oh, they're going to. And
Yeah,
they
because he's-
already are.
because
but
it's just well, Trump is outrageous, and Trump didn't. I didn't see him out there putting the cuffs on the guy. I didn't see him, but they're definitely. It was well noted that there was extra security, there were people out there, there was National Guard, and he did it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, mess around,
don't do the
pay a
crime.
price.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
I mean, did he threaten someone's life or something? No.
No.
He just threatened a pool.
Well,
That's it.
It's maximum sentence is 10 years.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he'll get that.
No. Yeah, but I'm sure he'll get something though.
Now, if he threw a bomb in there or something, maybe you get the 10. But
Yeah.
I don't think for reaching his bicycle hands in there and grabbing trying to rip it up. You know, and I listening to was it Department of Interior or something. I don't know, I forget what the name, but they said that's the only place there's damage is where the cut was, which I didn't understand. I'd be curious, but so like 95% of the pool doesn't have any damage.
Yeah, and they drove cars on it.
Trump did, yes.
Yeah, they drove
but it wasn't
cars on it. So
but that's not where the damage is.
No.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. They drove cars on it. That didn't damage it, but
No.
These box cutters or whatever they had to cut it and then trying to rip it up.
And apparently he did not take the beast.
No, he didn't.
The beast would weigh tonnage. That's like taking a tank.
Yes.
So he just took a regular SUV.
Yeah.
Out there to go see the pool and all that kind of stuff. But they are going to have to partially drain it. They don't know how much they're going to have to drain it. And they just got the algae completely under control now. And there was phosphates dumped into it. So somebody
dropped fertilizer in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. To feed the algae, or maybe they dropped algae in there. I don't know what they dropped in there. But
well,
when they tested the water, it had high concentration of the nitrates.
Yeah, they did say the algae came from the
piping.
Yeah. They didn't flush the piping before they filled it. So
but somebody fertilized it. And the microbubblers are supposed to take care of it. And eventually they do. They did. But they kind of overwhelmed it there with the rapid growth. And I'd never heard of the microbubblers before, but
I hadn't either.
But apparently the bubbles are so small, they're not going to cause ripples in the water. They don't even rise to the surface. But they somehow keep the algae from blooming and keep it from growing. And now they're looking to use it on other polluted bodies of water that they think they can clean up with the microbubblers. The microbubblers are like cool. 1.7 million by themselves. But it's a big place.
Yeah.
It's a big place. So the pool actually looks good now.
Yeah.
If you look at it. So all the cheerleaders for the go algae girls, they all took off.
Yeah.
The other ones that you were cheering along for the algae to grow and bloom and what an idiot Trump is because he doesn't even know how to stop algae.
Another failure by the left.
Yeah. Well, there's not going to be reports on that other than us.
No.
That's it. But the pool looks good, but they will have to drain it again to take care of it. And I'm curious to see what the damage really looks like. I mean, they're saying box cutters and all that. I'd like to think it's true, but I'd like proof. Could it have been a mistake by the contractors? Possibly. I don't know. But these guys were professionals. They knew what they do this. I mean, that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so. And we got to see them because they were in the Oval Office, which is so unusual. He brought the contractors up there to meet him. And that's the first time they met Trump before. Now I had said on the air before that they'd never worked for Trump, but apparently they did do some pools at one of his establishments before.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know that he ever met them or knew who they were or anything. And they did a standard contract at a standard rate. It was not a special I'm in your party rate.
Right.
Which we know happens. Keep in mind, Obama did a work on that and he spent like 34 million at the time.
Right.
Most of that money was going to nonprofits for research on what to do.
Yeah.
Trump didn't do any of that. It's kind of like, well, it's obvious it's leaking and it's obvious that we need to get a pool guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't spend $10 million to do that to a nonprofit that supported me in the last election. And then he put it out for bid. Trump just did a no bid contract at a standard rate and got it done.
Yeah.
And then somebody cut it. Trump called the Iranians a cancer. You think he's out of line?
Nope.
That's why he's done. And we talk about saying he's done. He says, he warned any new Iranian attack would trigger a far more devastating response. And he described the regime as a cancer that must be removed.
Well, he went into all these negotiations and the Iranians said, oh, we're going to do this. And then they don't do it. And they said, oh, we're going to do this. And then they don't do it. And how many times do you sit there and listen to them? And I think that's where Trump's done.
Yeah. Like, and he hasn't personally gone, but he sent his envoys. Which good. I mean, when you're on the number one kill list, you're not going to go sit down at a table with them, I don't think. he said the U.S. policy toward the Islamic Republic has been centered on containing and deterrence. The underlying assumption that was that Tehran's behavior could be influenced, constrained, or made more costly. And that's and Trump suggests a different premise. The issue is no longer merely the regime's behavior, but it's the system itself. The objective is no longer to manage the crisis, but to eliminate its source, rising once again that prospect of regime change as a strategic outcome. And that's not what he's after, the source. He's taken away all the infrastructure and the money that's doing it. And he made the remarks the other day that, well, we took out the first line of leaders and the second leaders, and the third one's a little better, but maybe we need to go to the fourth.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
that's not a subtle thing.
No, I think that's where they need to go. I think they just need to eliminate as much of the IRGC as they can, and then also the leadership.
The question in this article, it says, is the United States moving beyond containment toward what could be described as a doctrine of strategic surgery? And I think surgery is going into cutting out the sources.
Right.
And basically, I don't know what all we did in Venezuela, but that seemed to be just a surgical response. We didn't have to do a lot of bombing or anything. Right. We just took out the leaders that there were warrants for their arrest and said, now will you cooperate? And they said quickly, yes. Now, Iranians, a different culture, a different ideological direction. They're in a direction that they were going to fight till we die. The Venezuelans actually said, prosperity sounds okay. Let's go ahead and try it for a little while.
Let's do that. Yeah. Well, I think we're past of containment with Iran. We need to kind of push right through that.
Khomeini was in power in 1989 is when he got power. The regime shifted away from a construction towards a long-term
79?
89, 19. This Khomeini, I mean, he wasn't the first. He wasn't the first supreme leader.
Yeah.
And it shifted away from reconstruction towards a long-term ideological and geopolitical project. Its aim was to position itself as a central force within a transitional network spanning the Shiite crescent and beyond. And they did. They got it done. It was through the Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Quds Force, I don't know what that is, Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Gaza, all were part of their networks. And they just kept expanding it. And we watched them for 47 years doing it while they're killing Americans.
Yeah.
All along. And but right now, they've suffered a huge financial setback. I mean, it took decades and billions of dollars to build what they had. To get all the infrastructure plus aid, including military expansion, nuclear ambition, external operations, and they gave up the economy. They could have spent money on that economy and getting people more prosperous. Manufacturing
and that's the way Iran used to be. I mean, there's not,
they were like Saudi Arabia, where they were
one of the most Western countries, and they were very well off. I mean, like Venezuela was, and then you have these guys, these left wingers or whatever you want to call them, go in and take over the country and destroy it. And it was like Iran, and the Iranian people, got fed up with some of the stuff that was going on, and it wasn't all good. I mean, we have corruption and we got to root out, but it wasn't all good. And they said, yeah, we're done with this. And then overnight it switched, and it's like, oh, I think we screwed up. Yeah. And,
there's nothing you can do then,
47 years later.
All of a sudden, the only one that has guns, the guard that's watching you.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and protest, they'll kill 40,000 people, which they did right before this.
Yep. And that's why it's so critical. A Second Amendment is such a critical,
it is.
Thing.
Yeah, not everyone believes that yet, but you would think they would be paying attention enough to know. But that's not going to happen for some people. It's not going to happen. Something that Trump's always kept in mind, he wants to distinguish always between the people of Iran and the Islamic Republic, which there is a difference. But unfortunately, they're all on the same infrastructure.
Yeah, that's it's not like you can go in and take it out, because you got all these people that are, want something different.
But they're victims. They're victims, and if they do stand up, they've been killed over the last 47 years.
Yeah.
And a reporter asked that of Trump the other day about, someone taking over, and he said, well, they tried, but they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't have the guns. They didn't have it.
Right.
The guard did. The guard didn't hesitate to kill their own.
Yeah, and there has been some internal revolt where some of the IRGC has been killed. They're trying to suppress
they've taken
that,
over.
but
They've taken over some towns. They've chased out the police. They've burned police headquarters and stuff. But it's isolated and it doesn't spread.
right.
But Tosi TV, if you watch him, and he's an Iranian guy that lives in Britain now with friends and stuff there, that gives some good reports on what's really happening. But there's not enough of a coalition to push out the guard at this point, from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Of course, who knows? And something about regime change, and when some of the articles I read talk about regime change, we've done it a lot to where we go in and take out Omar Gaddafi or something, but we don't have anything going in its place that we know about.
Right.
And it could end up worse. It could end up, we don't know.
Well,
And that's a scary thing.
Yeah. And the prince or king or whatever he is, the son of the Shah, said he would go in temporarily.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, I know. Temporarily till they have an election. So I don't know.
And then we know that we'll win it because we've already made sure. No, I don't know. I mean, the guy may be a legitimate good guy or something. I don't know. I'm always. It's always worth looking at.
Yes.
And be skeptical now. Was it his dad? Is he the son of the son? Because he's old himself now.
Yes.
And I'm sure he remembers a day when it was successful, prosperous, more Western and stuff like that. The Shah was not a perfect man. Apparently,
No,
he had some stuff going on too, where they, ruled like thugs at times.
Yeah.
But by and large, the country was turning, capitalistic and doing some great things. Now it's under an ideology that is very controlling. Like if you're a lady, you can't show any hair. You got to have the burqa on, or they'll stone you or
just
whip
like
you.
New York.
Yeah, like New York's coming. That is it. I don't know if they're there yet, but I think they're moving in that direction.
They are moving that way.
Oh my gosh. Well, and we need to keep using New York as an example of what happens when we're asleep at the wheel and we let a socialist start running the place.
Yes.
And it wasn't New Yorkers, I understand, that elected him. The New Yorkers, and I'm talking the New Yorkers that have lived there, didn't vote for him. What voted for him was the new New Yorkers that from other countries, from other places, and all that. And it was very low outcome of voters, very low turnout of voters. But it was the illegal aliens and stuff that voted Mamdani in.
Yeah. So the DSA, they talk about being from the people and all that kind of stuff, but 85% are white.
Yeah.
Only 4% are black, and only 4% are blue collar workers.
Where's this in the
the membership for the Democrat Socialists?
Really?
Yeah, 85% white.
That's awesome.
4% black and 4%
white
are blue collar.
White females, or
mostly, yes.
Yeah.
College education.
Oh yeah, because they know more than everybody.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Never had a job.
I don't need one.
Not under socialism.
Yeah. FDA, Food and Drug Administration, article that talks about them working on drugs, as you know.
Right.
Drugs is a thing of Trump, and that whole I don't know if you looked at that Trump website where you can buy drugs, online.
Yes. Yeah. Trump RX.
It's strictly a copy of the ones that are already out there.
Yeah.
I went through it a month or two ago, and it was good RX that I compared it to. Identical prices on a lot of it.
Yeah.
Some of it was a little cheaper. Some of the good RX was a little cheaper. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's good, but it's nothing unique. And our governor here in this state did the same thing. Yeah. We have one from Arizona that's basically a good RX.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a company out there that's signing up states and other people just to get on the program, and we'll call it your program, and you did it for the people.
Yeah.
But it already existed.
So the Clark RX?
No. No.
We'll
work on that
up
one.
Chris to buy drugs from Clark RX.
Yeah, we'll buy it. But the FDA is working on strengthening the domestic production, which Trump's talked about. And of course,
good thing.
We talk about domestic production for food and for energy and chips and things that are critical to military and stuff like that. That it's absolutely essential. And Trump is really pushing all that. And we're making big changes.
Yeah.
The drugs are also something that, and I didn't realize how much of it was bought offshore. And it's not just the drugs brought offshore, but the raw materials to make drugs made offshore. They don't do it. And apparently, according to FDA rules and everything, that's kind of hidden from the people that buy the drugs. In other words, it can say it was American-made drug, but they bought all the raw materials and, from China or something. And the FDA is now proposing a new rule that's going to streamline the processing for American drug manufacturers and tightening regulation for foreign ones. Like the regulations right now, sometimes it's unfair. Regulations to buy, like, let's say, lettuce products from Mexico, is different because they don't have an FDA down there just making them put up the fencing and do all that stuff. But yet they throw it on a truck and just bring it right in. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but basically they're not following the same criteria that the American farmers have to go through, and they get a price advantage.
Yes.
Same with the drugs. And so the FDA is looking to streamline that process and then tightening regulation on foreign ones. And I'm assuming what that means is that your facilities have to pass inspections that would be required here. I hope that's what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you tighten it.
Right.
Unless you.
I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently one of the major loopholes that they're changing and look to solve is the foreign factories production, because they'll produce it and then we'll slap an American name on it, basically, because they do the raw material and we do the boxing or something. I don't know. And that's invisible. But now the FDA is saying that it's going to stop. We want to identify it for what it is. So they're proposing changes to establish registration regulations that would reflect how distributed manufacturing actually works, which is good. I think that's just transparency.
Yeah. Yep.
When an active ingredient in a medicine reaches the American patient, the FDA should be able to trace exactly where it came from. Right now, they can't. They just say it came from this manufacturer in Alabama, but it may be made in Romania, for all I know.
Exactly.
So they want to establish all that. I think that's all good. At the same time, they're bringing the price down.
Well, then they just announced that Toyota is going to move their Tacoma manufacturing facility to the U.S.
They should move it to Tacoma.
No, I don't think it'd be good up there.
No, it wouldn't be good up there.
But
it'd just be cool to make it Tacoma in Tacoma.
Yeah, it's close to socialism up there. I think
it is.
Taxes would be out of control.
No, if they open up anything, it's going to be in right to work states. I don't know if these dim states figure that out yet.
So they are doing part of a chip manufacturing in New York. I saw.
Why would somebody do that?
I don't know. It's not in New York, but it's in the state, which is interesting. But
yeah, Hochul's still in charge of that stuff.
Yeah. And I think, if I remember right, there's a manufacturing facility here in Yuma that makes parts for the Tacoma and was shipping them down to Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and now they're going to hopefully they'll be able to stay open and ship down to Texas.
Have you heard some of the disaster about Seattle and what Seattle's going through?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to point that out. Seattle, very successful businesses in Seattle. You're talking about Boeing and Starbucks, to name a few. But TransStars in the nearby Seattle area and all that, the manufacturers. But they have spawned huge manufacturing and stuff. And in recent decades, the liberals are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're overregulating and they're taxing them to death. And they want more and more and more. And these manufacturers now are seriously leaving. Boeing's been trickling it out for quite a while now. We're not just going to move everything. We're just going to take this one thing and move it. We're going to take this one thing. Well, that one thing is really piled up. And now that the new mayor's in there, are they the ones that raised their minimum wage up to $15, $20 an hour or something?
Well, they're one of the ones.
One of the ones.
Yeah.
And little by little, they're killing the advantage they have. And once these guys are gone, they're not coming back.
No. Once they relocate, they would.
And they've gotten used to it. I know the Seattle mayor or whatever, I know she's been in great stress. She didn't think that her aggressive attack on billionaire taxes and everything else was going to have this effect. And now there's a panic, like Hochul panicked a little bit, like, hey, you better go get your billionaires back here and bring a friend. And they're not coming back. Like, be patriotic, pay your fair share.
Well, and Boeing's been up there, like you said, for decades. At Starbucks started there.
Yeah.
The very first Starbucks.
Well, so did Boeing. There. Boeing started there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, a small guy working in a garage made his first airplane there. Some small airplane. Saw a special on it the other day. And
it takes billions and billions of dollars to move those facilities.
Doesn't matter.
Once they get to a point where they're totally fed up and willing to spend that kind of money to get out, the damage is bad.
Boeing did it right in that they didn't really move the facilities. They built a new one they were going to build anyway. But they built it. South Carolina? I think was where they went. One of the Carolinas, I think.
To remember. Yeah.
But where it's a right to work state.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. Like, the unions are all mad. Well, you can't do that. You're trying to bust the union and all that kind of stuff. Well, they should. When the union struck, and they struck not too long ago, it cost Boeing a fortune.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go through that again.
Right.
So they won eventually. They were on strike long enough that they just gave them what they wanted. But they came back and had probably plans they didn't know about, that this is the last time because we're moving it. I think they're still making like the 737 or something up there, but the newer aircraft and stuff are being moved out. And offices now, engineering's moving out.
Yeah. Well, and so this is a short story about Red Wing, Minnesota. A lot of people probably know about Red Wing pottery. It's been famous.
I was thinking shoes, but okay.
Oh, Red Wing shoes. Too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there. But Red Wing pottery, the union went on strike, and they wanted a certain wage. They said, well, we can't pay you that wage. If we pay that, we'll go under, and we'll just have to fold if you continue to do this. And he goes, no, we think we can do that. And of course they went on strike, and what happened? They closed. Just boom, shuttered the facility, and that was it.
Gone.
Yep. And they still have a Red Wing pottery sales room, just the salespeople, but and they had, thousands of pots and things like that there that they're still selling. But yeah, the workers laid them all off and say goodbye. And that's, unions can do some good things, but they also can do some bad things if they get out of control.
I was a Teamster for a while, but the mentality is, the billionaires are so rich and these owners are so rich, they can afford it. They're lying to you. I mean, you get those lectures from the unions all the time, which is why I'm non-union to now. I mean, I saw the inside of it on how hateful and terrible it is. And they're aggressive. The ones I've been in, it's anecdotal, but the ones, the union meetings I've been to have just been horrible. And then when I moved to Denver, I was running a facility. We were doing $100 million in transportation, and selling warehouse, $100 million warehouse. And we were machinist union. And it was a constant, they had to prove their worth by putting in grievances. My job, I was operations.
Yeah.
Was to handle all the grievances. I handled them well enough that the union went and complained enough about me that they moved me out. They said I was a union buster and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not. But I just wanted to do things right and by the book.
Yeah.
You know what the book was on the union, on the grievances? I read the contract. If a grievance is on my desk, I had 30 days to respond. So I put it in my file to look at in 29 days. and I told everybody in the warehouse, all the workers, I said, look, if you guys have any problems, my door's open, you come see me.
Yeah.
And then union steward would come up and said, well, I put a grievance on your desk last week. I haven't heard from you. You said to come see you. I said, yeah, I handle grievances different than when you come see me. But if you have any questions, what is it? Well, what about the grievance? Oh, I'll definitely answer it according to the actual rules that were put in by the union. Do you know what that is? Well, you're supposed to answer it. Well, go read the rules. 30 days. I got 30 days. And it was petty little stuff. I mean, it wasn't even worth looking at.
Yeah.
It's just, they had to have grievances on the books. In fact, the reason that they did that is because I'd been up there for a year already. And I was so reactive. If anybody had any little problem, I took care of it, whatever that problem was, immediately.
Yeah.
The union came down on the stewards. We're not getting any paperwork. What about the grievances and everything? And they said, well, there's any grievance I have. You will find them, get them. That's what your job is. And that's exactly what so I just took it as a joke. I'll handle it according to the contract and I'll do it properly.
Yeah.
30 days. And by the way, they were successful at getting me out of there. I mean, that was one of their requests. The union was to get rid of me. And it was too successful. And shortly after that, when I went to San Diego, they decertified. I mean, there was enough exposure of what they were really doing.
Yeah.
The rank and file, and I never was looking for decertification. I was just looking for getting things done. Mm-hmm. And they decertified on their own.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do that. They got it done, good for them. So the machinist union is no longer in Genuine Parts Company in Denver.
Yeah.
Or actually Commerce City. They decertified right after I left. They said, you got rid of Russ. Well, we're going to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a full-out war in North Charleston, according to some residents there in South Carolina. This is youths again, where, these kids will start getting together with, social media and all these mob stuff and everything like that.
Right. I did hear about this one.
There's some 911 operators were listening to the calls, like people calling up, and these are some of the calls. Everybody's got guns. We need the police out here bad. We need to come out here because there was reports of gunfire, and some car, blue Charger at the bus stop. Everyone in there was armed, and then they called back. I called 45 minutes ago and asked to have officers out here to break up a group of kids with firearms. And now, like a full-out war going on outside my blanking front door.
Yep.
This is not funny, though. I mean, this is terrible. But officers finally did get out there, and they said there were 500 of these kids. And so they called and asked they got out of their cars and started to ask the crowd to disperse. So they attacked the officers. Callers are calling in saying they were blanking, shooting at each other and running in opposite directions. And I heard the crowd shout, "Get the strap." And then I heard gunfire. I came inside, and about 10 seconds later, I heard 3 gunshots. I need officers here, please. I don't want to move there.
No. Well, that's why you don't give up your guns.
No. And you don't put up with this nonsense. I mean, these things don't happen like this is the first time we tried it. Mm-hmm. These things are getting away with it. The anti-police thing, the kids will be kids. Well, you got to leave them alone. They got a right to protest. I don't know, whatever it is, getting out of control. That these kids are getting handguns. Now, the cops ended up confiscating some handguns and got some kids picked up, put in jail or whatever, held on to them. But they didn't get any of the guns that were being fired. But they got these kids were running around with guns, and most states and stuff, that's not a legal thing to do for kids.
Right.
To run around with those. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on Gilbert's mind. What's up, buddy?
You're talking about Seattle and all that. Did you hear what the governor of Oregon done?
What did he do?
With the schools? Well, these kids don't have to have that proficiency in math, English, or what's the other one? Arithmetic. Anyway,
STEM.
He's taking it off the table. They don't have to score good.
What they don't have to pass tests for those things? They don't have to study them?
Yeah. Basically, they don't have to pass it to graduate.
Yeah, well,
dumb.
I think grades are racist anyway, according to some. They say
that's basically what he's saying, is to help the minorities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the tick.
So insulting.
But yeah, it is. It is. And what's really funny, because he used the term minority. There's a lot of white folk out there that aren't efficient in reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. So, it doesn't follow racial lines, buddy.
I'm laughing at you guys. Proud of it. He's very proud of it.
Yeah.
He's going to help the minorities out.
He just dumbed down everybody. is what he's doing.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to pass it, that just amazes me. We got
It means-
Washington and Seattle, and they dummy down everybody.
Well, we got real problems with people in power now that grew up in a very liberal attitude of, if we just get rid of the police and get rid of the teachers and get rid of the stuff, we'd have a better society.
Yeah,
And-
let's open up the prisons and open up the jails and let those survive.
Well, the Democrat
But
socialists
scary.
want to do just that, buddy.
Yeah, but it's scary. You got the Eastern board, now you got the Western board.
Yeah.
Thinking the same way. And I'm pretty sure you got a couple of states in the center of America doing the same damn thing.
Well, we're going to see a real difference in the states now. I mean, we're going to have states that are very successful and states that suck. And the ones that suck are not going to be primary Republican.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, that SAFE Act is so important. So important. And they're really trying hard to defeat it all together.
Yeah.
And you know, we have one guy that's probably brain dead, not as much as Biden,
Who?
but he hasn't
McConnell.
been in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Hasn't been
Fetterman.
around for how long?
Yeah, McConnell may, you know, there are still some rumors out there, and there's still some people pushing it on social media that he is dead. But I don't know why that would happen, and they wouldn't disclose it. But you know, there's theories out there.
Because they don't want somebody else appointed in that position, so Trump can
Oh.
pass his agenda.
And I've heard that rumor, and that could be true.
I think it is true.
No, yeah.
I think it's true because what somebody is voting for him. After all, how many dead people vote every year?
Oh, it depends on the state.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, as long as they have his vote to fight Trump, that's that vote that we need, and they don't want us to have that vote
Yeah.
to win. And that's what I think.
Right.
Anyway, I'll let you go back to your thing. I thought I'd bring up Oregon.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Well, we want to forget our friends and family back in Oregon, but they're in trouble.
Yep, I got grandkids there and great grandkids there.
Unfortunately,
So-
maybe they get out of there someday and get into a free country.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
We'll catch you later.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, poor kids growing up in Oregon.
Yeah.
They'll probably grow up a leftist and not know why you're a leftist. Oh, and that thing in South Carolina, they did take one that was a machine gun too. Juveniles with a machine gun.
Yeah.
That's just
did
what
hear
we
that.
need.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Those aren't easy to get sometimes, but sometimes people know how to alter a firearm and make it a machine gun. And some of those firearms, it's fairly simple to do. I'm not a machinist. I don't do it myself, but I know it can be done.
Okay. So here's one for you. So this, I did not know this, but Kentucky law no longer allows the governor to appoint a replacement to the vacant U.S. Senate. They have to have a special election.
Right.
So it's different than like Arizona.
Well, Arizona, we can't appoint a senator either. We have to have a special election on a senator.
But they appoint somebody and then they have a special
I think that's strict
election.
of the House, isn't it?
I thought it was the other way around.
Uh,
No, it's the other way around. I think the House is the one that has to go to a special election. The Senate, you appoint one, and then at the next general election, they elect a senator. I think so. I think that's the way it is.
yes, the state of Arizona allows the governor to appoint an interim replacement to fill an open vacancy. Okay, that's okay. When McCain died, then
Right.
she was appointed.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, and I know it's state by state. It was different.
Right.
But I heard that about Kentucky because I read it about McConnell, and the governor has asked for proof of life from McConnell.
Oh yeah.
He wants proof of life because if they're going to do a special election, it needs to be done within the next week or so. 2
Right.
weeks, I think
Yes.
they've got.
Yeah.
It's in the first of next month, the first week of next month sometime. I don't know the exact
Right.
date.
Right.
But they've only got that amount of time. Otherwise, they would have to leave that seat open until the general elections. And they couldn't do a special election after that. So
Yeah.
there's a timing thing on there. And that's where these rumors come from. that McConnell is not with us, but they're hiding it until after that special election deadline because they don't want someone to come in and replace him that would say okay to Trump. And because Trump is a populist, the candidate that's going to win is going to be somebody that supports Trump.
Yes. Yep. Then McConnell wants to block the SAVE Act.
Even in his death, if that comes about. Yeah. And I don't wish it ill on anybody, but we don't know other than McConnell apparently had a good long conversation with two people last few days. And one of them was John Thune. And Thune says he talked to him for 20 minutes and he was very aware of all current events. We talked about Iran and we talked about, many different current issues and all that kind of stuff. But McConnell, I don't think could focus for 20 minutes before he went into the hospital.
No, I don't know if I trust that.
I don't trust it.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, we have no knowledge other than what they're saying, but even the wife is, left town and she's out in China. And I don't know anyone that's come forward and said, I was in his room yesterday or something. No, I mean, I don't know. No doctors have come forward and said anything. Of course, they're bound to not give information unless they're given authorization to give information.
Under HIPAA. Yeah.
Right. But McConnell, if he's alert and everything, he could say, hey, doc, go out and tell the press I'm doing fine. He could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not happening.
No, yes.
Because we're not hearing anything from the docs, we're not hearing anything from the hospital. We heard from the governor. He says he doesn't know. Yeah. And he wants proof of life. We heard from a representative from Kentucky that came forward and said it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
We need to know he's okay or not okay. We need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And he suspected that he's not.
Well, I think for sure he's not okay. The question is whether he is alive and can function. And I don't get, these congressmen and senators and stuff that basically stay in office till they die.
I get it. I know it.
Yeah.
Look,
why would you do that? Go
because
enjoy yourself for a little bit.
Well, they enjoy the office. They enjoy doing it. McCain stayed. Grijalva stayed. And that's just an instinct. But when they do that, of course, they make the $175,000 a year or whatever it is. But they also get a budget of a few $1 million to run their offices, run the people. They get staff. They hire their staff and to cater to them. And they have 15, 20 people on the payroll, or 35 if you're a senator, that you can call 24/7, pick me up at the airport, grab my lunch, whatever it is. It's not necessarily just the pay, it's the lifestyle. And then you get invited to all the parties, you get to talk to all the people that you want to. You can call another country and say, I need to come see the president of that country, and get on an airplane and go talk to him. That you can't buy necessarily with just $174,000 a year. If you make $174,000 a year, you're not going to get that access.
Yeah. But people that crave power so much that they don't have anything else in their lives. That's sad.
It is sometimes all about power, but I can tell you, when I got to know John McCain a little bit and spending time with him, he really had his hit in wanting to help people. He did. Now, granted,
I knew him well enough to know that.
Yeah, and granted, and when I would go, and he asked me to come up and testify at a hearing, a Senate hearing, which I did, and afterwards he says, "Hey, Russ, you and Hildy, come with me," and we walked down to the back door of his office and all that, and he says, "You have a good time, you're doing all that," and then he took us on a private tour. He just gets excited about government, about everything. I mean, I grew great respect for him. Now, he did some bonehead things that I didn't like. Yeah. When he voted down that thing because he hated Trump, and I was very disappointed. But overall, I mean, he was a guy that had passion and cared about the country. And, he was a wild man. There's no doubt about it. But his heart was there. And same with Jeff Flake. I liked him too. And he really fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I stopped going.
Jeff Flake was not, I don't believe was John Kyle was great. McCain was great as our senators. John Kyle.
I'd have kept John Kyle forever. He was wonderful.
Yeah. But Flake was so.
And I've interviewed a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And when you interview someone like a John Kyle and you ask him a direct question, it generally is going to be something along the lines, and his answer will always be, yes, I agree with that, but, and then he'll give an explanation. You start talking to weak candidates that want to figure out what you want to hear.
Yeah.
They'll start talking about the incidences and the things they say, and you don't get to the answer till the end, till they feel you out.
Yeah.
And that's easy to spot.
Yes, it is. It's very easy.
Yeah. But so many of them do them like I've never interviewed Diego, but I've seen him be interviewed and everything, and he's that bounce around guy.
Yeah, he is.
You're going to never know who he is.
Right.
Even during his campaign, he ran like he was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
But he's a Democrat socialist.
And the big thing to me with Flake is you go talk to him and you ask him a question. The first thing he does is look at his watch. And he looks at his watch like 2 or 3 times during a conversation. It's like, okay, you're not here. Just anyway.
Yeah.
But McCain was like, boom, he sit down with you and he focused,
and he was
good. And
he would tell you exactly what he thought. He didn't hold back.
Yeah. And Kyle was the same way.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah, I understand he's having some physical problems now or some mental problems or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not that's probably the only reason he's not in office. He retired, but he came back to help out.
After I was in DC someplace and I ran into Senator Kyle in an elevator, and I had met with him like once a year for like 10 years and stuff. And, and I introduced myself again. He goes, oh yeah. From Yuma. And of course he was the water guy.
He was
water senator. And, so we were just talking, chit chat and stuff, but it was a good guy. And then I think it was after that, he actually went by, didn't he go back and fill in?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He went in and fill in, for a little bit. And of course he gave up a lot of money, but and he just filled in, and it's like, I'm just doing this short term and I'm out of here. I'm not rerunning
a
again.
True leader, true patriot. But McCain was too. And I know at times we could disagree with some of his decisions, but the guy's heart was all there. And it's sad that he got brain cancer and there's like no cure.
Right.
And we lost him. But he stayed in the office. That's his choice. Yeah. But I think they so align themselves, that office and the people and what they do. I think it just takes them over. At some point. Same with Grijalva.
I think so.
Grijalva didn't go to the office for a year.
Yeah.
He stayed at home, and who knows who's running it? Autopin's running it.
Yeah.
That's what we got there. California. I got a little bit of time. California. There's a Culver City. Where's Culver City? Do you know?
Yeah, it's by Huntington Beach.
Okay,
in that area.
They just passed a 45-day moratorium. The council did on new drive-through permits, which I found really odd.
New.
Oh, new. No.
Okay, I was like,
sorry.
NUDE.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we can't have those new drive-throughs either. No, new. Because apparently they got wind that an In-N-Out Burger In-N-Out Burger is wanting to put a new shop there. And In-N-Out Burger always has a drive-through.
Yeah, I think didn't they start California?
Yeah, they're a California company.
Yeah.
And they've only ever closed one in their existence. You know that? They put their stores, they're so popular, they're so busy.
They pay well, they have benefits.
And the food's great, and it's a simple menu. Yep. You got like 4 items. Which one of the 4 do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't want them in Culver City because of the drive-throughs, which was odd to me. I had to, what they got against drive-throughs? Apparently they're not unusual. There's other cities that have banned drive-throughs. They say that it worsens traffic, creates safety issues, could hurt air quality, and issues for pedestrians and bicycles.
Oh, because the cars are idling in the lines? Is that what it is?
I guess.
Wow.
Well, the ban would only affect new businesses. It wouldn't stop the ones that are in existence. So, we like it the way it is. We don't want anything new and that. And In-N-Out Burger would be the first new drive-through, not nude, new drive-through in Culver City since 1997. And so I guess it's not a big growing place. And they've already planned it out with 61 parking spaces and a drive-through that would take 26 vehicles. So they asked In-N-Out Burger for a comment. The spokesperson said, as a private family-owned company, we generally don't comment publicly on business matters. I like that, but I had to listen. Like, what are these? People would think. Well, Jessica Martin, she's a city resident that organized a drive-through, organizing support for the drive-through ban. Now she's doing petitions to ban it. She says density is inevitable and development is inevitable. We want to be proactive and smart about it. I don't know that she's being smart. Now, Vanessa's wife, Cynthia,
Okay.
created an online
California.
petition calling residents and the city council to oppose In-N-Out mega drive-through. And that's not MAGA, mega. Arguing it would create traffic congestion, worsen air quality, pose certain safety concerns for pedestrians and cyclists. So it's the same rhetoric. I don't know if she's an expert on traffic control, but she's coming off like one. Another resident, Paul Hewitt's helping hand out the flyers and says, terrible idea. And Bubba Fish, he's a city council member, Bubba Fish. I would have thought Bubba would be from the South, but but no, we got a Bubba Fish.
Bubba Fish.
That's it sounds like lunch. He wants to create a more walkable, bikeable, safer streets for people, all modes, and drive-throughs are the antheists of that. So his opponent. I mean, everything I read was opposing it except for the California Restaurant Association. I guess these people are into walking, biking, green energy, no cars, no carbon. If you want your In-N-Out burger, you walk in, bike in, hike in. But don't go through a drive-through. Just call Uber. They'll bring it to you. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around that, Greg, on that mentality. But that's where they are. The California Restaurant Association says you're essentially banning quick service restaurants without specifically stating that. Around 70% of all fast food sales come through drive-through orders. Didn't know that. Wow. I don't doubt it. I mean, if you go by a lot of our restaurants in town, drive-throughs are packed.
Yeah.
And what's not in drive-through is Uber.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, Ross.
Yes, sir.
It's Shay with Omni Tax Solutions. How are you?
Not right now.
You're in trouble with the IRS.
I am.
Yeah. But he got his advertisement in though.
He got his advertising in.
That was a spam call, in case the audience is wondering.
Yeah, it is.
Soliciting Russ to
well,
taxes.
And I have an issue because the IRS, we've been sending in our payments since I've been in business.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this year, they started sending back money. They sent back like $100,000.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
They sent like $100,000, and we're calling them and saying, "What is this all about? What is this all about?" Well, that's just you sent too much. You sent too much. And I'm like, well, no, we didn't. Well, right after that, they sent me a bill for not paying and late fees.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got people calling me, said that for a fee they can fix that. I'm like, the IRS and I should be able to get together and fix that, and we are. We got some guys coming in there,
right.
But in order to get somebody to sit down with me, they had to send a collection guy.
Yeah.
They have very strict rules on that. I said, okay. And then we got to announce your name at the, at City Hall or something, which triggers all these calls that come in, which, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We'll get through it.
I actually went through the same thing with
You
the
did?
tax. Yeah. Got audited. They said I owed, it was like $18,000 or something.
So what are you
something
talking
like
about?
that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you can't claim this. I go, oh, yeah, yes, you can. And so we went round and round. She goes, well, the only way I can do this is turn it over, like you said.
Yeah.
And then they assigned somebody, and I sat down, and she's like, well, no, you can't do that. And I go, well, here's the reference. I go, look it up and then tell me. And she calls, and a week later called me back. You're right. And so I won.
Yeah, but in the meantime, once you get turned over to the people that you can talk to about it,
Yeah.
they turn your name over
Yes.
as delinquent.
Yes, I went through all that. Yep.
And I'm like, well, that's special, but I can't. I can't change the system.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And man, have you ever tried to call the IRS?
Yes, I did.
I literally have been on hold more than an hour, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have that music or something, and every once in a while say you're on hold or something, and then once in a while this says we can't connect you to who you're looking for. Click, and it hangs up.
Yeah,
that happened to me numerous times, and when I get somebody, they can't help me. I finally found some good people though.
And that's what I did. That's how I got it resolved, and they gave me their direct number.
Yeah,
so
I've got that right now where I'm working that way, and I worked with somebody that told us on the paperwork. Why it ended up like it was, and we'd had to correct some paperwork or something. And but we sent all the money. They never said a word for 5 years.
Yeah,
and then they sent it all back, and then the money they sent back, they charged interest and penalties that ended up being more than the money I owed. Yeah. And we'll see how it all works out. And then and from what I understand, the IRS wants you to go get these people that have been calling me.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to have someone else do it. From what I understand, now that's not official.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I want to sit down and talk to somebody about it and go through it, and that's what we've been doing. And we definitely have somebody that's working with us and looking at it, saying, "Wow."
But bottom line is, the IRS does make mistakes, and you can win.
You can,
if you're right.
And I'm hoping we get through it just like that, and that it's no big deal. But I don't know. Everything's out in the open, but one way or the other, it's going to get resolved.
Yeah.
And if I have to pay money I don't know, we'll do it. But I'm not going to volunteer that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start off that way. Yeah. But he called me on air. Well, I'm using my cell phone for on air right now until we get our license back,
right,
and we get a permanent call in line, which will happen eventually. And then you call me on my cell phone, I'll just ignore you. I don't know. Did we talk about this? The Russia oil tankers that were hit. I guess I mentioned it briefly.
Yeah, briefly.
That they just, within the last week, Ukraine has struck 21 vessels of Russia's oil tankers and other ships and everything else, as well as refineries deep in Ukraine. And
deep in
Russia. I'm sorry, deep in Russia. But this is a campaign where Ukraine has purposely spooled it up to a big degree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't seen this kind of swarms and stuff coming out, and they're outpacing Russia huge right now. Now, at the same time that Ukraine has been hitting Russia's infrastructure to make gasoline and stuff like that, so that the war machine can't roll. Russia's been sending drones and things in to hit hospitals and apartment buildings.
Right.
And then going on there saying, we never hit civilian infrastructure.
Yeah.
But I guess not everyone tells the truth. But they think that this is the way to get to Russia, is because there's a stalemate on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
On like that.
Well, I think it's a good tactic. You get the people so upset because they can't get gasoline, and Crimea is starving. There's no gasoline for if you're a civilian, so there's
no food or anything either.
Yeah.
I mean, they're stopping everything.
Yeah, so they're and if you remember, the Russians took Crimea from Ukraine while Obama was in office.
Yep, they by force. They just came in and claimed it. And then they built that big bridge from Russia into Crimea. And they just came in and occupied it and took it over.
Yeah. And didn't do anything.
Well,
and even though we had pledged to defend Ukraine, we didn't do anything.
That's exactly right. Because we said, if you give up nuclear capability, which they had,
mm-hmm.
because they were a satellite of the communist, Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And so Russia and the United States signed an agreement with them. If you give these missiles up, Russia won't attack you, we won't, and we'll protect you from each other, you know, and we'll be fine. And we did that in what year? That was in the 90s or something, the 1990s.
Was it that far?
I don't.
back?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean,
I thought it was
late
during
1990s.
Obama. It wasn't during Obama.
I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to go back and check. But then in 2012, Russia rolled in and we did nothing except send blankets.
Yeah.
And then, and that's been a terrible. And no one ever talks about that we had an agreement that we would protect Ukraine if they gave up their missiles. They gave up their missiles and we didn't do it. But we wanted them to give up their nuclear capabilities.
Yeah.
And they did. And they trusted us. It's their fault. But anyway, now they've become such a powerhouse on these unmanned systems that they've actually occupied territory with drones only, or captured territory. Had troops surrendered their drones. Ukraine has. They're way ahead of the bar. I think they're probably ahead of us as far as changing rapidly, creating drones on the go, and cheaply. I mean, they don't spend a lot of money on them compared to us.
Yeah. Russia took Crimea in 2014.
2014, I said 2012.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the agreement, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The agreement was back in the 90s.
Right. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. 2014.
Mhm.
Is it 2012? And, you know, in 2014, apparently, we did send the Green Berets in to start training troops on modern Western warfare. And that's what saved them after, you know, during the invasion, is that they weren't using Russian or Soviet tactics.
Yeah.
They were using stuff that Green Beret had taught them. And that, I guess, kept them alive long enough to regroup and work things out.
Yeah.
But we didn't supply them with missiles right away. We didn't do anything like that. We didn't give them armaments. We just said
Obama gave them blankets.
gave them blankets, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see if you're still here in 3 days, because it was all supposed to be take 3 days.
Trump gave him Javelin anti-tank missiles.
Yeah.
Obama gave him blankets.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and it's spooled up since then. Now it's F-16s and missiles and different stuff.
Patriots.
HIMARS.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And at first it was, you could only use it on your own territory for defensive purposes only. And that was for a long time.
Yes.
And so when Ukraine started going into Russia, they were only using they were using non-US stuff, except they caught them with a Humvee, and I guess got lectured about the Humvee thing. You don't take the Humvees in there.
A great president like Joe Biden.
But that thing's changed now.
Yes.
It has changed, and the HIMARS are being used now for wherever they need them. But if you only fight a war on your own property, I don't think your chances of a good outcome are very good.
No, it's not. Well, and that's why these striking these drones deep into Russia, into Kiev,
and
Moscow and stuff like that.
And they're hitting targets that support the military, from manufacturing of the drones to weapons, the manufacture of weapons, the stockpile of weapons, bridges that transport weapons, oil refineries that are producing chemicals for the weapons. And yes, the civilians are getting hurt along with it, because those same refineries are doing gas for your Chevy. So the car won't start without gas. In Crimea, and you know how the kids all use social media, same thing in Crimea, they're using social media. They got girls on social media, and flirting on social media saying, fill up my tank. If you buy me a tank full of gas, I'll go to lunch with you and stuff. Yeah, it's not flowers anymore. No flowers and candy.
All right.
I want some gas. Give me some gas.
Yeah.
And that's something. Yeah. And that's usually coming on the black market, and it's contaminated.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
Oh yeah. I think, and Russia's having massive casualties. Not that Putin cares about his people, but massive casualties. And when they're striking downtown Moscow and that kind of stuff, the people in Moscow are kind of like, what's going on?
That's what I was to say. You've seen some of the interviews with the people in Moscow. They're oblivious to the fact that they could be attacked. I mean, they know there's a thing going on in Ukraine, and they're saving Ukraine. because Ukraine is Nazis
Yeah.
and they're doing terrible things to Russian and they deserve it. They had no idea this would come and bite them. The people, because they control the media.
Yeah.
But it's hard to have the media say there was no refineries attacked in Moscow on fire when you're looking at it. Yeah, you start losing credibility, Greg. You know, can't keep doing that. Sitcom, of course, that's Central Command there that's been striking the Iranian targets. They talked about some of them. They hit another 60 boats, not ships. These are the fast attack boats.
The mine layers and stuff.
Yeah, they're not small. I think they're like 50, 60 foot long or something, but they're fiberglass, fishing type speedboats, kind of like a PT boat or something.
Okay.
That doesn't take much to knock them out. They're not armored.
Yeah.
They had 60, but they've been hiding them. They hide them. They have these, this program that they've been working on that strait for so long, where they hide these boats like behind, underneath in shelters and stuff that you can't see them, so that they can come out quickly. Well, I think in the last few months they've decided they know where they are. They figured it out.
Okay.
And they sunk another 60. Okay. So I don't know how many they have left, but it's been a favorite target.
Yeah.
But they've done it. It's been 3 days in a row now, I think, that they're still doing it. And at the same time that they're doing all this, further degrading is how they call it. That's a polite term from the military, isn't it? We're degrading their ability.
Right. Yes. That is the polite term.
That's a polite term.
Yeah.
But they point out, and CENTCOM points out, U.S. forces remain vigilant, lethal, and prepared to execute operations directed by the commander-in-chief. And the commander-in-chief is even saying that, they still have some ways to hurt you. Just because you degrade them 80%.
Right. They just need to keep it up to finish this.
My thinking is, and of course, Iran was upset about the degrading going on. So of course they fired missiles at Jordan and stuff like that. But when you read the numbers, they fired we fired 3 missiles at Jordan. It's not 30 anymore.
Right.
It's 3.
Yeah.
You still don't want 3. But it's really they also had a projectile. The U.S. Iran is claiming the U.S. Hit around the Bushehr nuclear plant. That's the only nuclear plant they have. It's a power plant, not. And it showed some video of it, that it was a big explosion. Now, it didn't hit the containment area, and U.S. didn't take credit for it, I don't think. But the Iranians are saying it's U.S. projectile. Of course, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But would the U.S. hit that to take out a transfer station or something?
Well, yeah, the U.S. would stay away from the actual plant, but outside the plant is the distribution system.
This thing was right next to it, man.
Yeah, you can shut down the electricity by taking out the distribution plant. And, after the war, when Iran's trying to reconstruct, after we get rid of this
you
regime,
don't have to replace the nuclear power plant, which would take 10 years to build.
Exactly.
But the nuclear power plant, if it's old style, I don't know what the style is or what it is, but some of those older ones, if you take out the electrical capability, they melt down because that's how they keep it cool. They need to have Fukushima. Remember when the tidal wave hit it,
right?
And it took out the power. Well, then they couldn't make the coolers work, and the place burnt down.
Yeah.
Now, modern plants, if you take out the power, it does the opposite.
Yeah.
It shuts itself down automatically than what it used to. It's kind of like, reminds me of the tractor, the trucks on tractor trailers. When they first were making those, if your brakes failed, you couldn't stop the truck.
Right.
Now it's the opposite. If your brakes fail, it locks them up.
Yeah, because the pressure keeps the brakes off.
Right.
But if that pressure from your compressor lets go, the brakes engage.
Yeah, absolutely correct. In fact, you can't move a truck until you start it, let the pressure build up to back the brakes off.
Yes.
Well, somewhat similar principle is if these guys lose power, it cools down, not knocks.
Right.
So, but I don't know what kind of plant this is. Probably newer though.
I
don't know.
I
It can't be that old because They weren't allowed to have it for many years, but it's got to be.
I think it's been around for a long time.
Has it?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, be careful with that. You don't want to start causing it to melt down.
Right.
I wouldn't think. I mean, we don't like them there, but we don't want to do that. I don't care about that. It says swapping strikes on military targets. That's not what we're doing.
No, we're not. Not anymore.
On Wednesday it was 90. Thursday was 80. I don't know what they're doing today. I don't know what they've done today as far as that. But Donald Trump says ceasefire is effectively over, and it hasn't affected the oil like it should. The Jordan missile launch, and I think that's the one that was 3. It doesn't say here, but I read it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, these guys are starting to get angry. The neighbors, Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar was a big supporter even of Iran, even at the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. But they've been friendly with us. They gave Trump an airplane.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been mediating a number of different issues too. So
yeah.
There
is a website out there called the HormuzStraitMonitor.com. And that's where I get a lot of my numbers. When I used artificial intelligence to ask them how many ships made it through the strait today,
mm-hmm.
they give you a very low number.
Okay.
Because they're going off of the what's coming on the transponders. Every ship has a signal.
Right.
But the United States government is saying turn that off so they can't track you.
Yeah.
Well, these guys with Hormuz Strait Monitor are tracking all vehicles, even if they don't have the transponder on. And that's how how many go through there every day and take a look at that. But those are pretty good. I'm getting ready to run out of time. In fact, I am. I just with Trump now, his comments about Iran, his change in attitude, and I think it's a change in attitude. That
yes,
he's like, okay, I've done the dance.
Yeah,
I'm done dancing. I'm coming back. Any suggestions on when you think this ends now? I can't handicap it myself. I'm always wrong.
If he goes back full bore, which he hasn't yet.
No, but he has never started full bore.
Full bore would probably be 2 weeks.
And he's got to do something because the impatience of the American public.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to put up with it for long.
Yeah.
We want it done. We don't want a forever war, and we got an election going on, and Trump doesn't want it either. And I think he knows it, and I think the Iranians know it, and that's why they're being patient. They want if they exist, even if it's destroyed and the country's destroyed and half the people are dead, and they exist as a power, the current regime, they feel like they've won. They don't care about anything else.
All they want to do is exist.
That's it.
Yeah. But I think the American people are at a point where it's like, okay, I want cheap gas. As long as you can give me cheap gas, I don't really care what happens in Iran. I think that's where they're at because, and I believe that's why Trump has done what he has done, basically saying, yeah, we're going to negotiate peace and all this kind of stuff. And every time he tries, they attack.
To get the gas price down.
Right.
I think that's right.
And that's what the people care
about. But it looks like it's sticking because the bombs are flying again.
Mm-hmm.
The gas prices did not spike.
Right.
They went up slightly, less than 10%. And it looks like we found alternatives or they're getting ships through anyway. And I know they're getting ships through.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can check those websites. I know.
And there is not a shortage of oil on the market.
Not right now.
No, there's a glut of oil on the market. And it's just that, markets are anticipating something happening that's not. But like we said, the oil went up to 76,
80 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, hopefully that will stay and our gas prices will continue to drop.
It will. Well, Greg, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
I'll be back. It's Friday. I got to keep reminding me. I get 2 days off. So I'm going to take a couple days off. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for listening. Mortgage One Studios with Russ Clark.